Alrighty, I think we are live. Oh, there we go. Let me prop my phone up a little bit here. Thank you, Sam Domanicate, for the host. Hey, Big Wheezy. Hey, Tay. Welcome to Dragons in the Dining Room. This is DMLoxy presiding, and welcome to a very long overdue Nerevis, because life and the apocalypse and everything else has been consistently getting in the way. Thank you, Poison Ivy.
That's a cheer.
Yay for the cheers. Okay. Let me know if you guys are getting a lot of feedback. I'm hoping it's not, because I am back in my own little cubby again for now, for a while. Stacko wants me back for a little bit because he loves me. He's also paying really close attention. He doesn't tell his face. That's my job.
He doesn't tell his face. Is that what you just said?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's what happens, like, right? Because, like,
am I coming across okay, or do you guys want me to put the headset on?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah, okay. I can hear you good. So, quick recap. On the last adventure, you guys fought some long-armed orange orangutans. You met up with Trogdor the Vigilant, who then ran into some of his old comrades, namely Dor. They argued about who was really a deity, whether it was Parisa or if it was Rogith. They argued for a while. Hey, Aurora. And they came to the conclusion that Parisa is in fact a goddess and have become her honor guard as they have struggled to learn common along the way. Speaking of struggles, Morwen has been using the spellbook of Mirren that she found to yell at things and having surprisingly good luck with it.
Wasn't there something that was supposed to be added to it?
There is, but we will get to that later. We finally have another player at the table. You know him previously as an NPC. We now have an actual miniature for William Cuthbert. I just called you a miniature. Yeah, you're a mini for William Cuthbert.
Was that on purpose or not?
No, that just happened.
Okay, because that was way too smooth to have been planned.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. What else do I need to know? I'm going to do a little bit of back and forth just to help players kind of reacclimate with what is going on. Eric, I am going to start with you. If you just want to give a super quick, this is who I am, this is what I'm playing, and this is what's on my character's mind right now, go.
You're asking the guy with the most convoluted background to make it short and sweet.
You usually do.
My name's Eric. I'm a human from Daggerfall who wound up in Barovia, lost his memory when he was shunted to Nerevis. I have a pet bird that I don't know anything about, nor do I understand why I'm where I'm at, and can't remember what happened prior to this. And I'm a rogue ranger.
Fireball, yes! That had was that Twiz?
I was Twiz.
You're right. My coffee mug, of course. Hey, Twiz.
Hey, Zodabeard.
Hey, Zodabeard too. Oh my gosh, everybody. Alright, so there is no fireball. No fireball for you.
That would have been a random fireball hitting against everybody.
Yeah, it
I'm
happens.
not with the rest of the party, so you
Which
know,
actually makes it
fireball
worse because
away.
that means it hits in the median location between where you are and where we are. So some random place could have been.
Thank you for the
fireball.
nat 20, Aurora.
Woohoo! There is a nat 20 on the table. Who is going to keep track of buffs for the evening?
I shall,
All right.
but I need markers, which are right there.
Okay, can you grab them?
I got it.
All right, so that is a brief introduction of Eric. Hey, Marlin! I will try and do you justice tonight, as much as humanly possible. I do have plans for you. So next up, actually, Parisa, why don't you go ahead and just give us a real quick once over, and this will kind of help William Cuthbert figure out who the heck everyone is as well.
Oh boy.
Thank you for the
Thank
resub,
you,
Krabby.
Krabby.
Yay, Krabby.
All the love and birthday. Krabby, we love you.
Krabby has the, like, full character now. That's why.
Yes.
Oh, gotta say, it's a sublord.
And a sublord. Keenan's here too.
Oh boy.
This is gonna be a long night, you guys.
Chat tonight, am I?
Oh, okay.
All right, goddess, fire away.
Because chat is ridiculous. I am Parisa. I am a Loxley Arboreal Warden. Which the fun stuff for that has not come into effect yet. Let's see. Do I have all my stuff? I think I have all my stuff. I am the ambassador's daughter. My mother is the ambassador for the Loxley people in the city of Silas. Right?
Yeah.
No. Silas? Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
No,
It's been a month since we played, okay?
it's okay. You're fine, babe.
Nat 20. You can choose to use a nat 20
Gary's
anytime
giving
during
the
combat.
crap over there.
You want it? You can roll.
All right. Yeah, and so for anyone who doesn't know, Loxley is a mix of a.
That's it.
I'm a dryad tree person.
Yeah, it's a class race combination that I homebrewed that Bard in the North is very graciously playing and stumbling through with me. Yes! For the rules!
She has an automatic 18 on her.
I am marking that down. That's right.
Roll good for me, poison.
Luck of the Queen. Just saying.
Oh,
Ooh,
gosh,
oh, let's see what you get.
An 11.
That's not bad.
And
2
what
rolls
is-
above 10.
What does Krabby give you?
Krabby. It's gonna be a 2.
I'm gonna laugh if it's a 2.
There's only 4 of those throughout any game.
It's an
So they
accidental
tend to get
nat
flat
20 or
line.
something.
12!
I
Wow!
will accept these rolls. Thank you very much.
I will accept these rolls. The goddess is so gracious.
The goddess only has power that the DM gives her. Yeah, so... Okay, anyone who ever played Guild Wars 2, Parisa's character is loosely based off of Sylvari in appearance. So that's a fun mental... Goddess Queen Loxy, I can live with this. So much downhill, so fast. Rogus, do you want to bring us back around? I am not a kitty! Rogus, do you want to bring us back around with a quick character intro, dear?
Yes, I play Rogus Artorius, who is a barbarian paladin, who has joined these lovely people on a quest to find out what is going on in this world, and maybe perhaps find his lost love.
Ha ha ha!
Money Penny?
He says right here.
No, My brain is so fried. I've been up early. I had
What were you saying?
a long kitty-like qualities.
I
Long trip home, and then I took a
Rogus, what-
brief
Rogus?
nap right before
Rogus.
stream, so my
I'm
brain
pretty sure
is
you
still
said it.
recalculating a little bit.
Rogus.
Hence the living with pajamas.
Roguth, you're human, correct?
Yes, I am.
He's also a paladin of Marasa, who is the goddess of death. Quick, more little background reminder just for you, William Cuthbert. This is a very human-centric world, at least as far as the humans are aware.
Roguth, you have a 10.
Error 404, thoughts not found. That's largely your fault and Fatal Pillow's fault, Twisted. Which, shout out to them for hosting me and my minions for the last couple weeks during quarantine. It was an amazing time, and we miss you guys already.
And thank you for the rules.
largely Miss Fatal. I just lost my train of thought again.
Do we have any other party members than William, Eric, Morwen, Parisa, and Rogoth?
We do not. There is Trogdor the Vigilant, who is momentarily following everyone around.
Gotcha.
We can bark at you about your leg from here, Twiz. No problem. By the way, did you put it up yet when you got home? Largely human-centric world. You do remember that being raised near Fort Calyx, that your family is very much a military family, largely supplied Fort Calyx. It has come under attack as of late, on and off with a couple raids, which you remember from before you left to go to Silas to finish your training as a cleric of Hylor. And after speaking with the party, you've been more and more troubled to find out that you believe, thank you for the cheers,
Thank you for the cheers!
that your family may or may not be as safe as you would like them to be. You are currently like a third of the way to the Shrine of Hylor, and the rest of the party has made it to Fort Calyx and are being escorted to none other than the Cuthbert Estates to speak with your father. However,
I do want to interject one other thing.
yes,
You also think that most of the party is loony as all get out
Because of him.
of me. When we were in the other town where you were learning your skills,
thanks, Krabby.
we decided to get into one of the training mock fights, and apparently I chose a mock fight that was significantly higher tier than what we should have been capable of doing, and barely made it out alive.
Okay.
So yeah, you think we're nuts. At least in
I
that
was the
sense.
last one standing on that one, actually.
Yeah.
That was definitely a
It was brutal.
Like by 2 HP or something.
that was a mess and a half.
But we survived it.
Okay,
In
well,
a
that's...
sense.
Survived. He uses that term a bit loosely. I mean, they found an old party member's corpse, and he's like, I found a body. Or you said you found Akathor's body, and then...
I asked if it was sleeping.
And the answer was no, correct?
Apparently, that wasn't the right question to ask.
Ah.
Say, you don't...
As it was put, I don't call your mom up and say, I found a body when I'm trying to tell her you're sleeping. That was the analogy put forward.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And this is why we may or may not have communication problems.
So where is he?
He is a third of the way to the Shrine of Hylor, like, 1,000 miles away.
Don't split the party.
I can honest to God say that it wasn't my fault.
This is true. Don't
Actually,
split the party.
it was to your fault.
What?
Because you weren't here where you were supposed to be.
God forbid I run a business.
Quick question.
Quick answer.
He's part of our party now, so to speak. What happens if there's a fireball?
It goes off. Oh my gosh. You guys with the clips already. Why do I feel like 3/4 of the clips are always me freaking out about something?
They typically are.
Y'all don't do stuff to me. And we're
I mean,
nice.
9 times out of 10, the clip is either of you or of Tan.
Yeah,
I can see that. I thought we were gonna do a
I'm still working on it.
okay, I want to say a menagerie, and that is not the right word.
It
Montage! Montage!
We're going to do a menagerie.
At least I didn't say menage a trois. Because that was the first word that came up.
It's a manage of 3. Hey, Plague State.
Oh, I hate Plague
Easy
State.
party size to work with.
This is true.
Alright, so we are going to jump back in. On the way to the Cuthbert Estate, you notice more and more unrest from Trogdor and Dor. And Trogdor seems to be, as deep as Trogdor can get anyway, in conversation with Morwen, and she ends up coming up to you, Parisa, going, Parisa, I think I need to speak with you for a moment. I'm murdering your accent, Minnie. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Trogdor and Dor seem to think that there's trail markers or ogre signs, and they're concerned. Yes, goddess, much concerned. Much concerned.
Ogre signs.
Yes. See, look. And Trogdor, licks his finger and makes some weird marks in the dirt that look like, thank you, Poison Ivy,
Thank you, Poison Ivy.
that look like hoof prints, but you can tell that they're off. And if you're not looking carefully, they look just like a horse walked through. But once Trogdor does it, you see him do it, you realize that the shape of it is off slightly and points different directions.
So he just did one in the dirt to show me what they look like, right?
Right, and then said he saw some a little ways back and is concerned. Eric, you would notice, and Rogith as well, that Parisa and Morwen have now stopped moving, and Trogdor is licking his hand and drawing mudmen in the dirt.
I would like to go take a look at this symbol and inquire and see if I can get the same information.
Trogdor states the same thing. Ogre signs, that way, and Dora goes, that way, that way. And they start doing the...
Okay. Let me see what I can do. I would like to try and pick up the trail.
Well, before you do that, goddess, hidden signs and symbols are a very important thing to my specific talents. I might be a bit better at picking them up than you.
Goddess better at everything.
I wasn't asking you, I was asking her.
Well, if it's a track, like trails,
You...
then I am very proficient in such matter of...
why don't you both roll?
I was going to say,
Go ahead and roll me tracking, both of you.
I unfortunately am not all that proficient at it.
Oh wait, no, my first roll was a 11?
Was it what?
Your first roll was an 11, yes.
Okay.
And then Eric, what did you get?
Higher than that.
Well, my total is 17.
Thank you, Parisa. Eric, what was your total?
18.
Alright, you both are starting to pick up these signs, and then you see this little pile of rocks that also look suspicious, and Dor is poking at the pile of rocks, and as he pokes the pile of rocks, it falls over, and in between two of the rocks there's some twigs that are bent, and they start debating loudly with each other in whatever language. It sounds almost like a polyglot of common and ogre and a few smattering words of something else you're not quite sure, but none of them sound pleasant. And Morwen volunteers or inquires a bit, and ends up going, if it's all right with the rest of you, they want to go see if they can find out what's going on and maybe stall an attack if one is to happen, or gather information. I would go with them and keep an eye on them and stay out of sight. And yes, this is DM segue because missing players.
Well, can you stay out of sight?
Very well, thank you. And if I can't stay out of sight, then I'll just open my Book of Murin and use that. It seems to have done well so far. That's as Scottish as I can get. And it's not very Scottish either. I'm sorry.
That's alright, we'll work on it.
It's going to be a lot of work.
You want to hear this, Scottish?
I just did?
Yep.
Oh, DM, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I give Morwen one of my flowers to use?
You've never tried.
Huh. I want to return to.
Okay, what flower are you giving her?
I am going to give her. I'm going to give her a blue flower.
Okay, and
Flower.
remind the viewers at home what blue flower is.
A blue flower casts sleep at first level in a 15-foot cone.
Perfect. She takes it and thinks it's very pretty. She tries to mimic you and put it in her hair, and simultaneously kind of does one of these. As she's putting it in her hair, she has to put her hand out to keep Dor from licking it, because apparently if you lick it, it's yours in the rules of Dor and Trogdor, and they think the flower is pretty. Is this a Loxley courting ritual? I accept.
Wait. I got this. She's pretty.
Ironically enough, Loxley courting rituals was a conversation that Parisa and I had before the campaign started.
Oh no.
So that's kind of amazing. The goddess has her new consort. All right. So that becomes the current plan. Morwen says that if something goes horribly wrong, she has a way to make a very loud noise that will attract all of you. Dor and Trogdor.
I know that noise. They're coming!
Be good, Gabs. Be good, Gabs. Be good, Gabs. Be good.
Breathing hard.
Beige. Beige! Beige! Sorry.
No, we can pass it up.
I love you. I missed you. I'm in trouble.
No.
So.
Oh my god.
Armageddon.
So, Morwen and Dor and Trogdor take off in that general direction. The guards just kind of watch with this bewildered look on their face. And then, as if to make matters worse, Lufer seems to have lost patience with what's going on and has gone over and grabbed the dangling reins of one of the guards' horses in his mouth and begins leading the horse down the road. Which is quite a comical state, seeing as Lufer is her puppy that has armor.
Yeah. There's barting on a dog.
You gotta protect the dog, you know.
Okay.
And you
I'm
guys...
going to be following this trail to make sure.
It seems like this trail has intersected the road you're on. And it doesn't seem like it's going with the road, but kind of at an angle.
Mm-hmm.
And so Morwen and Dor and Trogdor are going after it.
Okay. Then I guess we're going to the city.
And the guards are leading you on towards the Cuthbert estate. I am actually going to cut over. Speaking of Cuthberts, meanwhile, back at the ranch, William Cuthbert, you are on the road. You are headed towards the Shrine of Hylor. You've been communicating with this odd group of adventurers that has been keeping you apprised. And then I need you to roll me perception.
Okay, yeah, now wasn't there some kind of sending stone or something that was
Yes.
present? Okay.
Yes.
You and I have the matching sending stones. And if I remember correctly, Yours was malachite.
I'm gonna be drinking a lot of coffee tonight, just throwing that out there.
And then, okay.
And my adult juice, I'm good.
Your adult juice? Oh, got it. Wine?
Yours is
Eric, you have the other one. Okay.
That took me a minute.
So, perception roll, yes?
Yes.
Whoa, that really, really sucks. We are going to have a total of 9 for perception. I am very, very preoccupied with the thought that my family could be threatened.
You are. And it takes you completely by surprise as all of a sudden a bloodied figure stumbles into the ring of your campfire and falls face first. It is a human dressed in kind of a monk's garb. You see a tunic, you see a patch denoting Hylor. He looks like he may, and the blood is fairly fresh. I mean, he's got some dried on him, but you can tell that there are wounds that are actively bleeding. And he does not fall into the fire, Krabby. He falls near the fire.
Okay, so sitting in my camp, fire.
Yep.
Guy comes stumbling in, obviously wounded, face plants.
He's not unconscious. You can hear him breathing hard, and he's trying to tell you something, but it's almost as if he doesn't have the strength to like lift his head out of the dirt.
What time of the night is this?
I'd say just before you were going to turn in, so you could still see, but late dusk, like 8:39. Okay,
so I'm probably already taking off my armor, getting ready.
Oh yeah, you're chilling in your skivvies.
I have
your
sleeping
amazing
attire.
Horse approves.
He's wearing his sleeping robes.
You're in a chemise.
So
your
coat,
healing chemise.
Coat would be the proper term. COTE. I will immediately jump up and move over to the individual. Face down, face up.
He's face down.
Face down. I will give them a quick look over and see if I can determine the severity and, is their spine injured? I'm trying to look if it's going to be okay to turn them over.
There's a lot of blood. It looks like he had... Twiz! You're not wrong, but be good.
Playing a human this time. So is this?
It looks like he's taken a number of arrows to the back and side, but there's blood pooling in front of him as well.
Does he have arrows sticking out of him, or is it just the wound?
He does not. It's just the wounds. You see a couple splinters in the one, so you get the idea that he just pulled out.
Then very quickly, I guess I would like to. Do I get the impression this guy's on death's door?
There's a lot of blood.
Okay. I'm going to take and use Cure Wounds.
Okay.
On him. And, if this is indeed a cleric of Hylor, he is devout and therefore one of my faith. So, let's go ahead and use a Cure Wounds. Where's Nightsire? There we go. For 7 hit points.
Okay. Yeah, he seems to be considerably better than he was a moment ago.
I'm going to turn him over and see if I can...
you can tell that your healing spell has stopped the bleeding.
Okay. But
there's a number of slash wounds in him.
He's still rough.
Yeah.
He's better, but he's still rough. Okay.
We were attacked out of nowhere.
Attacked by what?
The Loxlies and the dwarves. They started fighting, but they started fighting their own. All the guards at the gatehouse. They just went mad. We tried to come down to see what was going on, and they began to attack the shrine.
The dwarves and the Loxlies were attacking each other? Is that what you're saying?
They attacked themselves. The dwarves at the gatehouse began to attack the dwarven city. And the Loxlies at their gatehouse began to attack their own town.
Sounds like madness.
And then, when we came down, those of us who were on guard at the base of the shrine, to see what was going on, they attacked us and began to rush the shrine. I snuck away to try and get help to the city. But there were... And before he can say there were, an arrow comes out of nowhere, straight through his throat.
Ooh, that's bad.
He dead.
He can breathe much better now.
Okay, Xena, settle down.
I would like to immediately move to grab my shield and broadsword. So I've got this guy kind of cradled at the time the arrow hits.
Yep.
Which direction is it coming from?
It's coming from behind him. So you're here, your campfire's here in front of you. He came in this way, went zoom. You went over, propped him up, and the arrow came from the direction he did.
Okay.
North, east, west, or south?
West.
West.
So
It came from the west.
All right. So I'm going to retrieve my shield and broadsword. Immediately move into, some type of defensive stance, holding my shield up for protection, and
He's not sleeping, Krabby.
look in the direction from whence the arrow came.
You see nothing, but you hear a feminine scream from not very far away.
Does it sound like it's coming from the direction that the arrow came from?
Yes.
As I move forward, back up to where the monk is, I'm going to take a quick glance at the arrow. Do I recognize the style of arrow?
It's Mandalorian.
What did y'all say?
Mandalorian.
Oh god.
So do I recognize the style of arrow?
You do not.
Okay.
It has an odd filigree, like etching on the arrowhead itself. You do not recognize the metal. You're familiar with some Loxley designs, but you also know, as everyone does, that Loxleys cannot touch metal. Even their rooms, doorknobs, hinges, everything is replaced with wood or bone or horn or some other...
And the head of this is metal.
And the head of this is metal. And there seems to be strips of this same metal that the head of the arrow is made of running down the shaft.
Ooh, so one might posit that this would be specifically made to combat Loxlies.
That's a thought. Yes. But the etchings on it look like Loxley work or design.
So it's kind of a nature motif?
Yeah.
Organic?
You get cognitive dissonance looking at the arrow. Because if it wasn't metal, you'd be like, yeah, hey, this is like gorgeous Loxley work. But it's metal. Horn, Zodabeer, not corn. Sorry, what was that?
Corn.
Ticklecorn.
Okay.
Whoa. Parisa, how much adult juice have you had?
What?
You just look really relaxed and happy, and I'm a little envious.
I'm the only one on the screen for once. I don't have to share.
I know, right?
Twiz, that's one.
Okay.
Don't give me that look. I can bark at my quiz.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Ooh.
I'm going to...
You're Twiz now. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to sling my shield onto my back and then grab a burning log from the fire.
Okay.
And
It's burned.
I'm guessing I probably still have my boots on. It was just my armor that I had removed. My
Yeah.
branding? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you were still eating, so you know you would have probably still rinsed out your supper dishes, and so you would have had something on your feet, I imagine.
Okay, so I'm still clothed essentially, just no armor. Then I want to take and advance in the direction of the screen, holding the torch aloft and brandishing my broadsword.
Okay. You don't have to go very far, maybe about 20 yards, and you see a woman in a very fancy chemise standing in the middle of the path with her arms up like she's trying to defend against something. And as soon as the firelight from your torch hits, something dashes back into the bushes away from her.
Like to move up near her rapidly, saying,
she's doing one of these, like, looking at you, looking back the direction of the cloaked thing, like, oh my gosh.
Lady, I may be a friend. My name is William. What is it that attacks you?
Assassins!
It's got 2 butts and it kills things.
That's mine!
Assassins from where?
Assassins, they have 2 butts and they kill things. Sorry. As you were saying, William, I'm from the village that's just outside, that's up the road away, and we often get, guards come down from the shrine to, spend their coin in our tavern, and they were just sitting there, and all of a sudden there was this strange music, and they just went berserk, started flipping the tables and burning and pillaging.
And assassins? What type of assassin? I mean, who are they? Any idea? What did they look like?
The guards.
The guards were the assassins?
Yes.
Seems like some type of madness is at work here.
With the fur.
Does she look wounded?
She does not. In fact, she looks rather perfect.
Okay.
She, from what you can tell, the design of her chemise, the care of her hair and skin, and the fact that she's not very tan, you could, what was the word we used?
Pause it. Gestulate.
Gestulate. You could gestulate.
Gestulate.
That she is of quite high nobility.
Okay.
And you know all the villages leading up to the shrine are fairly poor.
Did you say that you work at the tavern?
Yes.
Is my Toro Fecundian BS alarm going off at any point here?
Go ahead and roll me an insight.
Okay. Oh, that isn't too bad. 14.
Your gut's telling you something's not quite right about her story,
Okay.
but it matches up enough with what the wounded man said that it's believable, but you have that something's not quite right.
Somebody vomited in the petunias.
Yeah.
How far up the road is your village?
Only a mile or so. You notice that she is barefoot.
Okay.
And her feet are rather clean.
Interesting.
And I'm not kidding when I say she looks like if charisma was appearance based, she'd probably be an 18.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So She is a comely lass then. Come with me back to my camp. I shall gather my belongings and we shall go investigate this village. What is the name of the village?
Oh gosh, I've already used Tough and Trot. Hey chat, what is the name of the village?
She did not think this through.
Back a DM up here. Cordliness.
And the name is, come on, Dumblebee. Give us a name.
That is the name of the village. It's the village of Dorn.
Alright. It's the village of Dorn.
Village of Dorn.
No, it is the village of Dornliness.
Dornliness, okay.
Dornliness.
Dornliness. Alright, village of Dornliness. What is the name of the tavern? As I'm kind of walking cautiously, kind of keeping an eye on her, back towards my camp to gather my stuff.
The Silken Chaff.
The Silken Chaff.
I feel like this should be a panel.
What?
Questions your players ask that you're like,
One of the first things that every DM needs to do is make a list of names so they can just go,
So,
is that one? And is that one?
I have one, I just didn't like any of them.
it's a viable excuse sometimes to come up with lists and it's like, this sucks.
I have to agree.
We've all done it. Yeah.
What's the horse's name? What's the village's name? Huff and Trot.
Actually, you know, with an English type of theme, that's perfect. So,
What color is that random bandit's eyes?
Hazel. I think.
so I'm gonna gather up my equipment, keeping an eye on her. I am gonna take the time to put on my brigandine.
Okay, and she offers to assist, help you don your armor, and she seems very adept. I mean, she understands what goes where.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know if Darian can hear, but it's like tying our tournament sparring gear. It's not her first time.
I will.
Right?
Let's see here. It's gonna take me 5 minutes to put the brigandine on this medium armor. No, I'm gonna take the 5 minutes.
Okay.
Nothing is so critical here, you know, given the strangeness of the circumstances. So I will politely decline
Okay.
the assistance and have her just stand and help keep watch.
Okay.
If she wants to grab a flaming log from the fire to help provide more light.
She does, and she stands opposite your camp and has no qualms in turning her back to you and watching the direction that you came from.
Okay. Then after gathering up all of my equipment, getting my armor on, all that good stuff, I'll keep my shield kind of slung roughly back flankish because of the backpack and all that.
Okay.
And then I will use a torch proper because that flaming log is going to become worthless in short order. So I'll use it to light a proper torch, and then offer her the same if she wants a torch, or can she see in the dimness and darkness?
When you offered her a torch,
Mm-hmm.
she took it, but it was almost an afterthought for her. Like she was
Okay.
getting ready to go watch without one. And now I need you to make me a wisdom save there, William Cuthbert.
Hey, Jaded.
Hey, Jaded.
19.
19.
Hi,
Now I need you to make me dex save.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Hey, 19.
Holy Toledo, Kansas. As that thought hits you, like, she didn't act as if she needed a torch. My gut says something's off. you feel momentarily nauseous as the world kind of does one of these, almost like a shutter snaps. And when the view widens again, you thankfully land on your feet, and you recognize that you are standing inside your family home in a circle drawn on the floor with chalk, and your sister is standing in front of you with a look of absolute amazement on her face. It worked! It worked! Is it really you? It's you! And she like runs up and grabs your beard and squishes it a little bit. William, you're back! I didn't know if it would work. The book said it would work, but I didn't know if it would work because I'd never done anything except for little, like, lighting candles, and it worked because there's something wrong with Father, and Mother's sick now, and there's ogres, those things, the bad things are attacking Calyx, and we're in trouble, and this book said I could do this, and I could pull you because we're of the same blood, and oh my gosh, it works.
Do you have a name for this, sister?
Young lady?
You named your family, but I can pull one out if you really want.
Genevieve.
That is her name.
So I'm probably just more than a little befuddled at this quick teleportation.
Just give me some grace.
So I've still got broadsword in hand and torch in hand, correct?
Yeah, like but you have all your gear on you. And
Okay.
Because I'm a kind and generous DM, remember that?
Yes, indeed. So I'm just gonna take it,
Pretty much crabby.
after this flurry of chatter and more than a little confusion on my part, I'm going to just kind of quickly give the whole room a 360 and see. I'm not sure if I believe my eyes. Am I actually in home? And I will take a few steps away from the circle.
You are in fact home. The floorboard creaks where it should creak. That is your sister. You recognize the scent of the air as home. You are in the upstairs parlor, and your sister Genevieve has always been a little more she's the odd one in your family. It's very much a military family. Even the women are very adept archers. Mm-hmm. Bless her sweet little heart. It's just not for her. There's no amount of practice. Some people just aren't meant for certain things, and she is one of those when it comes to the martial prowess. However, she's quite the scholar, and she's also the family. I just lost the name. The people that remember all the peoples going back hundreds of years. Genealogists. Thank you. That hurt. Oh, that was good.
So, Genevieve, stop. What? I am confused. I'm going to. Is there a fireplace in this room?
There is.
I'll walk over and just chuck my torch into it.
Good idea.
And
oh my gosh.
Thanks for the cheers, Poison.
Thank you for the cheers.
And I will. I'll sheathe my sword and gonna turn to her and say, "What did you do? What is?"
I did this, and she turns the book that she was reading around, and you see a map of the circle as well, and you notice that the one side of the page is a little bloody. We're related. I needed your help, and you weren't here again.
Ooh. Sexy little girl.
What? I'm gonna walk over to her, gonna place my hand on her shoulder.
She's kind of tearing up, and
I'm gonna place my hand on her shoulder and say, "Dear sis, what is wrong with Mother and Father? Take me to them, please."
Wait. I don't think that's a good idea. Father received a missive from some friends of yours, an ambassadress and a rather odd fellow with some memory issues, and a paladin of Marasa, and then he said he had something of great import, and left immediately to ride to the fort.
Father did?
Yes, and when he came back, he's not himself. I said something to Mother. She was going to go speak to him, and then I heard Father shouting for help because Mother had collapsed, and now she's sick, and she seems okay, but she's not waking up. And roll me a quick perception. Hang in there, rest of the party, I'm coming for you! I promise.
Perception, we have 13.
You do realize there are double digits on this?
I had an 18 a moment ago.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I'm sorry! I trust my aim!
I don't.
What did I miss?
I'm so sorry! I love you! That was a good hit! It was!
Must use that catapult spell.
I'm really
I
sorry!
confused it yet because I asked for a bag of just junk metal pieces from a blacksmith. How much is it going to cost me? I don't know. A couple copper? Thanks. Didn't realize I had to get a
As you're talking to your sister, the window is behind her, and you see some of your family's men-at-arms coming into the courtyard proper with the odd stranger with the memory issues, the lady ambassadress, and the paladin.
Oh, dear God. High Lord
Dare you to
preserve
throw
us.
the floofy dice again? No, Krabby! No! I will not throw the floofy dice of China Hutch slaying again.
I will, almost under my breath, mutter something to the effect of High Lord preserve us. And
He ain't going to help you here, boy.
You feel a god facepalm for you.
yeah, thanks. And I will make my way to meet with these individuals entering the courtyard.
The rest of the household seems to be turned in for the night. So Eric, Parisa, and Rogith, as you are entering the courtyard proper, you see William Cuthbert coming out of his front door with a young lady behind him, and this gives you all a lot of cognitive dissonance as you just spoke to him and knew that he was headed in the opposite direction of you. And I'm going to let you guys chat with yourselves because I need more DM liveliness.
I thought you were further north. What are you doing here?
I thought I was too, but apparently my dear sister found a way to expedite my arrival or retrieval.
Did you finish what you started?
No.
So, that's going to make things sticky. Don't you have a time limit on that?
I am...
You've never heard of this happening, so you have no idea.
I don't know for certain. I'm unfamiliar with this type of situation ever happening before. Be that as it may, I am deeply concerned, of course, for my family and would like to know what is going on here. Moments ago, I was quite literally finishing my supper at my camp. A monk of Hylor stumbled just inside the light of my campfire, wounded by arrows. I healed him to a small extent. He said that the Loxlies and dwarves were fighting themselves. It sounded like people were turning on their own people, their own kind, their own cultures, and doing bloody violence. And then I encountered a lady who smelled and looked of nobility, but claimed to be a tavern worker and looked nothing of the kind.
Question, do you describe her?
Yes.
Sorry,
I will describe her as a very comely lady, garbed in a very aristocratic chemise, barefoot, delicate features.
What's her name?
Rogoth. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Parisa.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Rogoth, I need you to. Actually, you don't even need to roll because you're. I'm just going to give this to you because you should have it. You recognize the woman he's describing. That was the most recent physical appearance of someone from your past.
Okay, so it wasn't who I thought it was.
Oh, damn.
And while I was making preparations to go to this tavern, to this village up the road, which was named Dawnliness, village of Dawnliness, the tavern was called the Silken Chaff. I felt strange and found myself in the parlor.
You know, young lady, I'm used to screwing up plans, but I might have to take notes from you. I say that to his sister.
She looks like she's on the verge of tears.
I kind of shoot you a little bit of a sharp look, kind of like, dude, not the time. And then I'll just kind of gently pat my sister on the shoulder.
Nerevis pecks you sharply on the side of the head and then actually flies over and lands on Genevieve's shoulder as if to say, there, he's an ass, it's okay.
I am.
He's my ass.
So,
I'm actually going to keep quiet about that particular revelation.
have any of you ever seen or heard of a woman of that description?
Sorry. Cuthbert in the parlor with a torch broke me for a second.
Might have been, you never know.
Hello, Borodol.
Yeah.
You were asking?
So, has anybody here seen or heard of a woman of that description, or familiar with this madness that seems to be spreading?
I seem to recall a brief story when I first met Parisa of the creatures acting weird when they went through the pass.
This is true, but nothing to that extent. If Parisa is, you're like, yeah, there's always some oddities, but you've never heard of anything like this.
Yeah, that is not.
You said there's something wrong with your family? I just met your father not too long ago and he seems to be just fine.
I'm gonna turn and look at my sister and say, mother is sick and unconscious, and father is
She will
not himself?
explain. She dismisses the guard, tells them that the men-at-arms that she will see to everything. They offer to stable your horses for the night, and she asks you all in to come have some tea, and she will explain everything and cross stories and swap stories back and forth with what's going on. Is that agreeable to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to get you can see she's kind of to try and keep the blood off the book. She just has taken the corner of her nightshirt and wrapped it around her hand.
I'm gonna field medic if William Cuthbert doesn't do anything first.
Well, I definitely would. When I've got a brief respite here,
You and Parisa both kind of move at the same time as soon as she moves her hand, and you just happen to get there first. And Parisa, with you being family, just kind of gives you the diplomat's nod of, you know.
Hi, Badger.
Ayo.
Hey, Badger.
So, you guys get squared away. Your horses are stabled. She makes it clear that Lufer is in fact welcome within the house proper.
Oh yeah, DMLoxy has an important question.
Wisdom oh.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me think.
For her.
No, Genevieve would not because she is familiar with Loxlies because of her scholar's background.
She's very pretty. I agree. She's very pretty.
What I think she was leaning more towards like the guards and stuff though.
Those guards had already passed theirs at the end of last session.
Okay.
Because it was, oh thank goodness they made their saves. Because I already had Trogdor and Dor arguing over who's a goddess, who's not. Half the table was staring at you, and it was chaos.
Where are those two?
Outside of town with the other young lady checking out tracks.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right.
Dor, Trogdor, and Morwyn went off to look at tracks just so I don't accidentally slaughter their characters or misroleplay them. DM Fiat, go! Mean perfection. You know that my inner Trogdor is a thing, Sublord. You're just gonna be Sublord. There's no getting around it. And once you are again seated in the upstairs parlor, Genevieve does not wake any of the maids. She serves tea herself with, I'm assuming, I'm just gonna, Parisa, would you give her a hand?
Do you have some chamomile?
Perfect. Just heard that every fighter over me. I believe that was Krabby. And that's my Krabby, and I love him dearly.
No, it wasn't Krabby because one of us, and I think it was Patrick.
Was?
It's for the sublord.
Yep.
Yep. But I thought Krabby was the one who ran with it.
Krabby ran with it, but Patrick technically started it.
If we ever get a poster, Krabby's our poster boy. Just saying, like,
You go, girl.
may the goddess smite you. Sorry. And she relays what she had already told William, that once Benjamin had received this news, he immediately went to go to the fort, very mysteriously and very quickly. Like, he didn't clean up his desk, anything. It was grab his cloak and go. And upon his return, he seemed odd and not himself. She brought her concerns up to their mother, and within an hour, that her mother had fallen into some sort of illness or coma and was not waking from it.
Have you tried smelling salts?
Yes. We had our local Kyvergin look at her as well, and nothing.
Your local what?
Kyvergin. Doctor.
That's a new word for me.
I would. William is not terribly patient. I mean, he wants to see his mother and father. He wants to see how they're doing. He's in person. So if everybody else is busy chatting and talking about stuff, or while his sister is kind of telling everybody else about what's going on, William would definitely insist on seeing, unless there's some really, really good reason.
No, I'm
As a character.
Oh, I thought you meant as a person. I was like, I know, I really like that word. Like, here, it's archaic, and it's...
As a character, I didn't know the word.
I like my etymology. Leave me alone.
So I'd like to go see my mother and father.
Okay, Genevieve lets you know that they are in separate rooms. The master bedroom that your parents have shared time out of mind is where your mother is, and your father has been staying in his study.
Okay.
And the rest of you, as she's stating all this, and you see William kind of shifting and wanting to head out. Dialogue, RP, do your thing.
Oh, I'm just sitting
Come
there.
along then, William. Go check on your family.
I'll go with you. But before we enter the room, I'm going to activate my heli senses.
I'm gonna activate my pally senses because I'm a paladin. Woo! Sorry, that might have been my inner voice.
I think you did
Just
something she
a
didn't
little
want you to.
Is anybody attending my mother?
I have been, and when I haven't, younger sister's name, unless you want me to pull it out of the air. Otherwise, I do have it saved in the files.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Go
Please
for
hold. Hold half a second, lovelies. I actually did save everything. I have secret character files on all of you.
Because I had some notes and I know not where they have gone. They got lost in the shuffle or somewhere. So.
2 sisters and a brother. Family words, family crest.
I'm gonna need to get all that stuff from you again.
Gerard and Rosaline are your parents. You are the
You just need little Monica in your life.
oldest. You did not name your younger sister. However, ironically, Genevieve was the name you gave to your older sister, or the oldest sister.
Her name is Monica.
Huh?
Her name is Monica.
No.
We need a little Monica in our life. Little Sandra of this son.
Let's see, what was the brother's name?
Honey. Brother.
Oh my God! Please hold. I just looked at it.
That's okay.
The one that
That's
you
not
rescued from Trogdor.
That's not important right now. But the youngest sister we don't have a name for, so let's go with something English. We're very, very English here, so let's go ahead and do.
Now give her a French name.
Aveline.
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 I like Krabby's suggestion.
Corby.
No.
No, Krabby.
No.
Also, if we did make a corn assassin, he has to have a husky voice.
I'm dead.
Nothing.
Painful. That's painful.
And he'd pop up out of nowhere.
Lend me your ears. Don't listen to her.
So Aveline.
Yeah,
Is the
Aveline
youngest sister.
is with her now.
So first, Rogath, if you're going with me, I just want to quick stop, check on Mom, see if there's any change, speak briefly with Aveline if she is attending, and just kind of, if Mom is still in a coma, like to go on and speak to my father next, and then probably go back and do a closer examination of Mom.
Okay, because Rogath is opening his pally senses, which I have to double check and see if anything triggers them.
I do.
Error 404. Your DM is loading. Or is that DM not found?
Error 404 is DM not found.
DM not found. That's probably where I'm accurate right now. Paladin! Haha!
Yes. Alphabetical too.
I might throw things at you.
Again?
If you're lucky.
I'll shift my miniatures further out of the blast zone.
It's a good idea. Apparently I have a big target on my face today.
I am sorry, I did not mean to hit you that square. Celestial Fiend or Undead? Ooh. Please hold. Your game is important to us. Talk amongst yourselves. pills or something.
We're waiting on the DM to let us know what's going on so we can make decisions based on the information we don't have yet.
I'm sorry.
You're doing
For anyone
just
who
fine.
ever is DM'd, you understand my pain right now.
Yes, we do.
You're doing just fine.
So this woman that you saw,
Yes.
did she do anything to you, or?
Well, I have a distinct impression that there was some type of ensorcelment involved or some type of Dwemer effect. I felt nauseous briefly, although that may have been from my sister and her
Magic?
her magics, her ability, whatever caused me to disappear from there and appear here. I'm not quite certain of it, but she did not seem like what she claimed to be, and that is she definitely mid to high nobility. I don't think there was any dirt on her hands or her feet. There was no calluses on her hands. It does not appear that she was a tavern worker by any stretch of the imagination.
There is very little doubt in your mind, Rogith, that this is the same woman. You're not quite sure how, but you are fairly convinced. And as you open your pally senses, you sense, they go 60 feet, you sense desecration coming from the other side of the door as you're standing outside the master bedroom. And at the edge of your senses, you briefly feel a fiendish presence.
Putting my hand on Ben's shoulder, I'm going to lower my voice, and I feel a bit of desecration coming from both sides. Also, is that fiendish presence, is that directed at a specific area, or is that just around the edges?
It was... Your best guess is that it was at the other end of the house. Your senses go out 60 feet. You sense the desecration on the other side of the door in front of you. And the fiendish presence was off over here, and it was brief. Almost as if when you opened your senses, it somehow stepped back. Like when someone turns a light on, stepping out of the lit room to avoid detection.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense.
Yep.
So you feel the desecration is coming from the master bedroom where my mother is, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Upon hearing that, I'm going to set my jaw, grab my holy symbol of Hylor, which is a medallion, grab that in my hand, and immediately go through the door.
You open the door and you see the master bedroom, which is very beautifully adorned as you remember it. 4-poster bed, draperies down the side of it, gorgeous curtains on the windows, large rug, fireplace. You see your mother appearing as if she was just asleep, laying in bed, and your younger sister Aveline is laying on the floor next to the bed.
Does she stir at my... Because I'm not being quiet.
She looks like she collapsed there or fainted. She's kind of sprawled out.
Ooh. Alright, I'm immediately going over to... I'm going to scan the room real quick as I'm going in. And...
Also pulling off my glove.
Okay.
Rogan, as you pull off your glove, the symbol in your hand briefly feels heated and then goes back to normal. I'm not answering that, Krabby. Hey, Sakusha.
I'm going to immediately move over and still clutching my holy symbol of Hylor, I'm going to kneel down after I kind of scan the room and see if I can see anybody or anything else in here.
You don't see anything.
Then I'm going to quickly kneel down and check Evelyn. Place my hand on her shoulder and kind of shake her.
She's breathing. She seems... as you kind of shake her, her hair moves and you see what looks like a knot kind of at the base of her skull, like she's been knocked unconscious.
Ooh, okay. Then I'll quickly look up again, and does it look like it's, something done? Does it look like it was is it fist sized? Is it kind of oblong? Is it mostly?
It looks like a...
Trying to figure out if this was an implement or if there was somebody
Your best guess, it was a gauntleted fist or a small club or something kind of round and compact.
Okay, is there any lacerations on the...
No, it looks like it was just a solid thwack.
Okay.
And she does start to stir a little bit. Rogoth, what are you doing while he is inspecting the sister?
That fiendish presence that seemed to have backed up when I opened up my pally senses.
Yes.
I'm going to move towards where I felt that last.
Okay.
With my hammer and shield out now.
Perfect. It would be like the hall you were in. You could go forward into the master bedroom, or if you went in the direction of that fiendish presence, you'd be going to the left down the hall towards the office.
Okay. I'm going to head down that way after letting him know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'll nod in agreement and, Evelyn, get up.
What?
Evelyn.
Will, you're home. You're home. Oh, my head hurts.
What happened?
There was a monkey.
A monkey?
From Genevieve's book. Monkeys are not native to this part, but as soon as she says that, you're aware of a book of fairy tales that Genevieve often read to her.
Okay.
It was like that, but bigger.
The orange things.
You're not there.
I would never do that to you after you thwarted that battle the first time.
Thwarted? It wasn't even a battle.
Glance at my mom. Glance at my mother real quick.
I was bringing back the wash basin, and it came through that window. It barely fit through that window. And it was coming towards Mother, and I started throwing things at it, and then the only thing behind me was Mother. There was no one else in the room, and then something hit me.
I'm going to shout, Parisa! Eric!
You guys
Come hence, please!
Come in.
I'm going to walk towards the room with my teacup in hand.
Your teacup in hand. So the only thing beating Parisa into the room is Lufer, who is Parisa's hound. Question mark? It's Fluffy Doggo. Does Lufer still have his armor on?
No, at this point I probably would have taken it off since we're in relative safely.
Okay. Lufer comes charging in, and upon seeing Aveline, this dog does what any other good dog does when it sees a child in distress, and rushes over and begins kind of licking the side of Aveline's face and standing over her kind of protectively. Aveline seems very distracted for a moment by the dog and throws her arms around its neck, and Lufer seems to have momentarily adopted protection of this tiny human.
Parisa, Eric, Aveline said that something came through the window.
Parisa, you are in the room. Eric is just strolling through the doorway, teacup in hand.
Thank you for the
Thank
follow.
you for the follow.
Ooh, thank you.
That would be Mr. Mark CMG. As I stroll through the room, or stroll into the room, did I hear the hole that came through the window thing?
Yes.
I'm not going to stop walking. I'm just going to keep sipping my tea and walk to the window.
You continue sipping your chamomile tea and go to the window and see Roll me investigation.
What is my investigation? That would be a 21.
You can see that the latch has been forced. You can tell from the etching on the window someone used a trick similar to something you did in your younger days, where they slipped something narrow through the window and lifted it to flip the latch.
Sort of like how I got into Patrick's house.
Or the apartment that
Or
one
the
time.
apartment that one time. I don't
There's a reason
advocate.
he plays a rogue.
I actually know how to do most of it. I noticed that it's been jimmied.
Yes, and when you look down, you're on the second story, and there are no good climbing holds.
I am going to go as CSI as I can here.
Hold on, I'm going to give you another hint unless you don't want it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
As you go to... Oh, it's okay. You also notice the windowsill has little depressions in it. But it almost looks like finger depressions, but it was hard enough to cave the wood.
Is there anything such as fur, hair, clothing, or whatnot trapped?
What was your investigation?
21.
You find a little tuft of reddish orange hair caught in the wood.
Okay. And anything else that I see in the general area?
That seems to be it. When you look down, it's dark out, but you can see under the windows, like where the windowsill is, the depressions, the fur, and it looks like more the same.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the top of the windowsill beneath this one,
I can see
you can see
the grips.
Yeah.
Well,
New followers for the goddess!
the good news is, I'm pretty sure I know what scaled the wall. The bad news is, I'm not sure how I'm going to track it.
When you say track, Lufer's head snaps up.
Oh, I forgot about you.
And
Come here, boy. Come here.
Lufer looks at Aveline, looks at you, and Aveline stands up and keeps her hand on Lufer, and he kind of like half is walking with her leaning on him. But he seems a lot more relieved now. He doesn't have to choose between his new human and with what he's being told. And then he keeps glancing over at you, Parisa, like, what do you do, Mom? And he goes over and kind of tilts his head.
I'm going to point to the orange tuft of fur.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to touch it. I'm just going to point at it. What's this?
Lufer looks back at you, Parisa, like, do I listen to him? And he's giving that kind of cursory sniff.
Good boy.
And when you say good boy, his ears perk up, his tail starts doing the brrrr thing, and just his nose starts going crazy on this windowsill, which makes Aveline's bust out laughing.
Alright, Aveline, you're going to have to stay here.
I'm gonna go fight the monkey.
You're going to stay here.
I'm gonna fight the monkey.
Aveline.
Yeah? I know how to fight. You stick him with the pointy end.
Tell you what,
Yes, thank you.
try and hit me.
Roll a dex save. Oh, that's right. My first roll was an 18.
That's fine.
It's gonna be a 22 to hit
Dex save?
if you don't save. Yeah, it was your dex save.
Tied.
Really?
Yeah.
She moves far faster than you anticipate, and it is nothing more than hours of training that you are able to get a reaction up fast enough
All I'm going to do is scoot back.
to just get outside her range.
And I killed 4 of them.
And I can keep up with you.
All
I'm a
right, you
tougher.
two. My mother is in a coma here. We don't need antics.
No,
Aveline
I'm
looks
simply pointing to her that she's not quite
legitimately
skilled enough to go.
Aveline,
Yes.
you stay here and you help take care of Mother. That is where you are best that is where you serve your purpose the best at the moment.
If you were where you served your purpose the best, this wouldn't have happened.
Enough.
Come on, Lufer.
And she
I'm
stomps back over to the...
I'm gonna let those guys do their thing. I'm gonna take Lufer and
Bedside.
start leaving.
Lufer, upon this going on, kind of has that perturbed doggo look, and then starts sniffing around, and then his head snaps up. He starts growling. Parisa, he looks at you with that get it look and bolts out the door.
I'm right behind you.
Before he can bolt,
Yes.
I'm gonna cast Beast Sense on it.
Okay. Give me the parameters of Beast Sense again.
You touch a willing beast for the duration of the spell. You can use your action to see through the beast's eyes and hear what it hears. You continue to do so until you use your action to return. So I'm warging.
Oh, perfect. You see, but you can't smell what he smells, correct?
No, it just says
Okay.
sees and hears.
Possibly a good thing that you can't smell what he smells. Just throwing that out there. Roll me perception super quick.
Oh, I had a 12. So 18.
18. As you hear this cacophony of noises, as Lufer's senses far surpass your own.
Unless you want me to use my passive.
No, you're fine. Something, as Lufer exits the room, something catches in the back of your mind as someone's heartbeat seems, not heartbeat. Why did I say heartbeat? Breathing. Someone's breathing seems off. Like, instead of the normal inhale, exhale, you hear something not as fast as Lufer, but it's that brief, it catches you as odd, and Lufer is out the door, and Rogith.
Yeah.
Because you're about a minute ahead of these guys. You went in the direction of your senses. And it leads you about 30 feet down this hallway. The Cuthbert estate is set out kind of like a hunting lodge, where you come in and there's stairs on either side. So the balcony, anyone who saw the original Tomb Raider, it's like that. Where the balcony, you can look down from the top into an open area in the bottom. But the balcony is not connected on the ends. It's just there's a balcony on each side. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, cool beans. And at the end of this hallway, it's a large oak door, and as you approach, you get about halfway down the hallway, and that fiendish sense triggers on your pally senses once again. Yes.
Magic burst.
What?
Magic burst on Parisa's spell.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shites and cookies. Okay, hold on. 9,005. There is a list of 10,000 random magical effects when someone magic bursts. We get. Ah, yes, the Tomb Raider. Good times when strong, independent characters were independent. Yes, Soda Beard.
Now, it's your choice as to what nearby means.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no.
Oh, dear.
Parisa, all of a sudden, as you are warging through Lufer, you realize that the scent of patchouli is overpowering. And it's coming from you. Rogan, you smell like cinnamon.
Oh, jeez.
It's like overpowering cinnamon.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Let's step it.
You smell the patchouli.
Like, your eyes are watering. And you just for giggles, your tea also smells strong.
Okay. Oh, I don't have my tea anymore. I'm chasing down Lufer.
Oh, okay. You're not still like pinky out
No,
teacup
God, no.
chasing the
I'm
dog
not
down
going
the
to chase
hallway.
a dog with a teacup. And actually, you know what? Never mind. Yes, I am. I'm chasing Luther down with one of your teacups in my hand.
I love it! My life is now complete.
Take care, Mark.
Yes, Krabby Patty. Yes.
Have a good night.
Have a good one, Mark.
Yes! You know, I used to love Bath and Body Works, and now I walk in and I'm like, I can't breathe.
Right?
I think that's how you know you're getting old, when you walk in and you can't breathe anymore. And all these little kids are running around, like, inhaling everything at point blank range.
When you go into Bath and Body Works, you have to choose 3 things to smell, and only 3. Otherwise, you will be nose blind for the next week.
Oh my gosh, the real life trials of adulthood, not being able to sniff in Bath and Body Works, choosing comfort over and function over style, hence DMing in pajamas. I'm busy dating myself, just give me a minute.
Alright, so since this,
I've always wanted to light a match every time I
Fiendish
was by
presence.
Yes, you get about halfway down the hallway, this fiendish presence registers back on your paladin radar, and it is very much coming from the room at the end of this hall.
would that be the room where his father is? Or
You believe, from your brief understanding of the layout of the Cuthbert estate, yes, that is the father's office.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to the door and press my ear against it.
What languages do you speak, Rogith?
I do speak in for Bissell.
He's speaking for Bissell.
Fey and Dwarven, apparently.
What was that? Dwarven and
Fey and Common.
Fey and Common. Fey.
Probably Sylvan.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. You blah blah blah. You hear some very harsh speech coming from 2 voices behind the door. One is very deep and gravelly. The other one sounds like the voice of Benjamin Cuthbert, but the language is very harsh. Like if German and Dothraki had a baby language. It sounds like that.
So, Klingon?
If Klingon, German, and Dothraki had a language baby.
A lot of phlegm.
Quite a bit.
A lot of phlegm.
That's why you're drinking the tea.
No, you drink the milk.
Everybody would
That way
have
you can
very
get more
sore
flavor.
throats.
I'm sorry, what?
I said everybody would have very sore throats.
Yeah. And you hear, it sounds like quite a heated discussion going back and forth, and then it stops abruptly, and you hear footfalls coming towards the door.
Is there any place where I can hide myself, so to speak?
There is not. I mean, there's a suit of armor that you could potentially like try and duck behind a little bit that's standing there in the hall. But as you hear these footfalls and your brain's going, I should move, you see the door handles are those nice curved handles with the little depressor tongue thingies. You know what I mean, right? Like, you do the
Yep.
Thumb operated latch.
Yes, those. You watch that latch begin to depress, and then you hear, as you hear Lufer thudding down the highway.
He's on the highway.
Oh my gosh! Hold on. More coffee. Oh no, we got some time before I get more coffee. Thudding down the hallway with all the silent grace of an excited hound. followed very quickly by Eric with a teacup and Parisa.
I am actually going to shoulder the door in.
Ooh, the door does open in. So as it's... Oh, fudge. Roll me strength. Or athletics. Actually, roll athletics. We're going to go with this.
More of a dex to catch himself as the door opens.
I'm just going to go with, like, football rushing the door. Is what I'm envisioning. You guys made, like, an awesome convergence of this. What did you get? Oh, there is now a nat 20 on the table, thanks to Krabby Patty.
Oh, wait, I have to use the 10, so it'd be 13 altogether.
13. This door is heavy, far heavier than you anticipated, but you are moving with enough force as the door is now unlatched and is being swung open by an unsuspecting thing. You crash into it and hear a noise as the door comes back and squarely strikes Benjamin Cuthbert in the schnoz. You are able to keep your feet as you go barreling through, and the feel of fiendish presence overwhelms you. It smells like everything you hate as a paladin, and you see a very large-looking human standing back by Benjamin Cuthbert's desk, in armor, but it huge barrel-chested man. He's a chonk, but muscle chonk, not like pierogies chonk.
Okay, there's a thing.
It's a good description.
I'm really sorry.
No, that paints the picture.
Very much.
That gets a point across.
Very much.
That's good.
No, and then.
That's good. Keep going.
When my brain catches up to my mouth, I'm like, what am I doing?
I think that's just a DM thing, Gabs.
Maybe a little bit.
It's a bipedal pierogi, so.
Is it bipedal pierogi?
That's kind of terrifying.
And Benjamin Cuthbert is kind of leaned over, his blood is pouring from his nose, and this guard, dressed as a member of the Cuthbert Man-at-Arms household, what is the meaning of this? And you realize the depth of his voice was the other speaker in this conversation of guttural, deep throat noises.
I should ask you the same thing, demon.
Demon? How dare you accuse me of such a thing? And as he says that, he reaches for his sword that's at his belt, and you realize that he does not draw the sword. His hand just kind of hovers above the hilt.
Let's put that to the test, shall we? I'm going to bring up my symbol and slowly approach him.
Alright, you go to walk forward. At this point, William, were you running behind with the
I was actually still checking on my mom. I wanted to examine her and see if I could figure anything out.
Okay. Eric and Parisa, you come charging in. As you go to walk forward, Rogoth, Lufer bolts past you, teeth bared and snarling, and goes to lunge at this guard, and I need everyone to roll initiative. Holy buckets, I didn't expect you guys to get to this combat this quick. You're much more on task with William Cuthbert in the party, or maybe it's just because we're remote.
I think we are slightly more on task to being on Zoom.
That could be too. That, I think the mindset for our upcoming challenge is starting to set in. We're like, game on. I need the not dry markers. Wet erase markers.
There's a whole bunch behind you.
Is there? Hey, there's a bunch back there.
And where you put them?
Alright.
I just got home. Be nice
Abby,
to
beat
me.
me by 2.
Eh.
This should be interesting.
What's the 6th initiative for a fireball?
That's right.
Dual initiative for fireball. Oh, Krabby, I've missed you. Hold on, let me figure out what this. Okay, that's.
Did you want me to roll for initiative as well?
Yes,
Or, okay.
yes.
Because
I'm pretty sure you're gonna hear this.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't being quiet at all when I said what I said.
That's okay.
Don't know how to be subtle, do you, Rogan?
Not so much.
It's the
Not when a thing is
in you.
this evil. That's the truth.
As a cleric, though, that's
Alright, William, what'd you get for initiative?
7.
You realize you have double digits you can use on the dice, right?
No, but as a cleric, being low is not a bad thing.
I'm okay with that.
Eric, the not cleric.
I rolled average. I got a 17 for my initiative.
There's nothing average about you.
Yeah, I rolled a 10 instead of a 17.
Insert affectionate noise here. Parisa, what did you get?
That,
24.
and then
Wow.
rapish audacity allows me to add.
I rolled an 18.
And Rogath.
So even if I
22.
roll low, I still get a decent score.
I also rolled an 18.
Who am I missing?
Super.
Morwen?
Yeah, she's not there. Parisa, I think we're gonna have Lufer go on your initiative with you.
I think that's what we've been doing.
I believe it is. I just had to reset. Parisa, you and Lufer are going to be going first.
Okay,
And I'm gonna say you're 30 feet from the doorway of the office because it was a 60-foot hallway, and Lufer's fast because he's a floofer ball. No, you're 20 feet from the door. There.
okay. That can put me well into the room. I have a 35-foot movement speed.
Perfect. Yep, you could get all the way up in front of Benjamin Cuthbert, or you had to pick those two names, like to make it less confusing. I should throw things at you.
Probably.
And this other guard that was back by the desk, that would actually put you right in front of him, Parisa.
Okay, I'm not going to get right up to him. I would probably get just inside the door and off to the side a little bit.
Okay.
And I will have my quarterstaff out.
Okay, hold on.
Is that Doctor Who I heard?
Yes. There's this person who for some reason cannot get it figured out that my number is not their daughter's number.
Game Master?
Have you started
Yes.
watching
Since
Doctor
I'm-
Who then, Joe?
Since I'm low on initiative, I'm going to use a little gamer's room real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
What was that again, Parisa?
Have you started watching Doctor Who then?
I'm behind by 2 doctors.
Gotcha. I'm behind by like 3 doctors, so
Okay.
I still need to watch the first episodes.
The original was a whole lot of fun. The new ones that have come out, they're good, but it feels a little rushed going through the doctors.
Gotcha.
Okay, hold on.
Yep.
Door. Okay, so forgive my lack of artistic skill here.
hold on.
This is the fireplace. This is the door. That's Parisa. Those are chairs. That's Rogath. That's Lufer. That's the not pierogi guy. And Benjamin Cuthbert's over here kind of sprawled on the floor because he got schnozzbopped. Yeah. Does that kind of help give people a little visual?
Schnozzberries taste like schnozzberries, or in this case, blood.
Question.
Answer.
Is there, obviously, this guy is triggering Looper, but is there anything else that would tell me that this guy isn't kosher?
Rogath stance.
He's not Jewish.
Of course not. He's not a pierogi. Wait, are pierogies kosher? Is that insensitive? I peek at you when you're not looking. I just wanted to give you a hand.
Aurora, stop. So,
Rogath's stance throws you off. He's standing very aggressively and grasping his holy symbol firmly in his hand in front of him. In the direction of the pierogi dude. Or not pierogi dude.
Of the big guy with the barrel chest.
I will carefully move forward.
Okay.
For the moment, I'm staying out of melee combat reach.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Shillelagh on my quarterstaff.
Shillelagh. Okay, you cast Shillelagh.
Okay. And I will hold my action for either it to make an aggressive move towards us,
Want a date?
or to reveal itself to be the creature that we're looking for.
Okay.
Just as a reminder to our viewers, my holy symbol is actually embedded into the back of my left hand.
Yeah, so he's like Tony Stark stancing this like.
Also, quick side note, Krabby, that might be something possible in the future.
A lore stream would be cool. Maybe maybe I can persuade Thaco to let me Dragon Discourse with some Nerevis lore and some Lorimir lore.
I've already offered that.
I think that would be a lot of fun.
When?
Way back when I started it. If there's ever a stream you guys want to do, just let me know.
Okay, that's not the same as. Okay, I want to do a Nerevis Lorimir lore stream.
Okay.
Okay. There. The queen appeases her subjects. Anything else, Parisa?
For right now, that is it.
Okay, perfect. Rogath, are you gonna call Lufer off, or are you just gonna let him finish his lunge towards this not pierogi dude?
I will call him to hold.
He stops mid-lunge and does the whole dog skidding on floor and is about 10 feet in front of this person and growling voraciously.
If he has the movement, I will call him to my side.
He does, and he backs away to your side. He does not turn his back on pierogi guard.
Perfect.
It's his prerogative. Okay, that's Parisa and Lufer. Rogath, you are up with William Cuthbert on deck. Or not William. Benjamin Cuthbert. Oh my gosh! The names. I need name tags for those two, for real.
Father Cuthbert.
Elder brother, Father Friar Cuthbert. Elder brother, Friar, Father Cuthbert. It's Rogan's turn!
Alright, so I'm going to continue my
shrinks away at the presence of your symbol, but it's more of an anger, like that recoil, like a snake about to strike, where it kind of does that pull back before it goes blah. Snakes are more aggressive than that. Eh, not blah. I don't know. I'm not aggressive. I have concerns.
Surely, if you are what you say you are, this will have no effect on you.
That was Lufer in the background. It
He's affirming.
it starts making this noise, and you hear this guttural speech under its breath that you heard before. Does anyone else speak Infrabissal?
Native.
Other than the pain in my side? Okay. I will deal with that on your turn.
Okay.
Anything else, Rogic? This thing is definitely not acting friendly towards you.
How close can I get to him before my
Oh,
movement?
you have the movement. You can get all up in his face.
Ah, then I'm going to so do so.
You're all up in his grill.
And I'm going to lightly press it against his forehead.
Just backhand him.
Spinning back fist. You know you wanna.
Yes! Do it! Are you?
Sure.
Yes!
Just ding.
Best spinning back fist ever was a Rashad Evans fight. Don't remember. Who was he fighting? Do you remember?
Oh god, no.
Because we replayed that forever, but it was like starting a lawnmower. He came from Texas and turned around and just boom! Insty knockout. Anyway, back to the story at hand here. Roll to hit, Rogic.
Okay.
Boop the pierogi. Yes! Boop the pierogi, Snoot. It is your pierogi, Tim.
What do I add to that, being that's my hand?
Strength.
Roll your...
The strength?
What Thaco said.
Okay. So that's 18 to hit.
That hits. And it hits well. Go ahead and roll me... Roll me 2d6 and add your strength to it.
I had one d6, I didn't pull out the other d6. Nice. Okay, so that'd be 11, 12, 14 points of damage.
Nice. 14?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So
Okay.
what I did, just because of what's going on, is the 1d6 I used for your fist's bludgeoning damage, and because of your use of your holy symbol and pally senses and all that, I gave you a d6 of radiant damage.
Thank you.
So just kind of breaking that down, because I was looking at the confused looks on the faces of like, how do you do that? That's how.
I'm not going to complain about extra damage.
I didn't think so, but just in case. Anything else on you, Rogic?
What does he look like at this point in time?
As you hit him, your holy symbol seems to briefly sear into the side of his face and then fade, and the human visage shakes a little bit, almost like there's a hologram over something, and when your fist hits, it disrupts that false holographic facade, and you see orange tufts of hair ripped out and into your holy symbol.
Oof.
Okay then. In which case, that answers that question.
In
bonus
Rogic,
action.
in you hear, in a very deep, gravelly voice, "You will not live long enough to regret that."
Oh, hold on. Parisa sees that the facade shift, right?
Yes, and Eric did as well. I'm just gonna give that to you.
Would that trigger my held action? Or am I not close enough?
You said you were out of melee range. So it would
Okay, that's
not.
right.
That was my only thought there. Or did you move into melee range?
No, I had said I was out of melee range, so that's
Okay,
fine.
that's the only reason it didn't. You said Rogith, you said bonus action?
Yep, and I'm going to utter a vow of enmity.
And for the viewers at home, that means?
The vow of enmity is for 1 minute advantage on attack rolls against the target of my vow.
Congratulations, you have advantage on this thing.
And that'll be it for my turn.
Okay. It is Benjamin Cuthbert's turn, and he, nose bleeding, stumbles back, and upon seeing the visage shift of this man-at-arms, you see this look of Parisa, you would see it. Eric, you would see it. Rogith, he's far enough behind you, you would not. But Eric and Parisa, you see this look of surprise come over his face, and he reaches for his sword only to realize he's not wearing his sword belt. He is in his nightcoat, and scoots out of the way against the wall.
Good, that makes my next move work.
Okay.
And that is, but he's watching intently, and there is a shrewdness to his eyes. Like he's evaluating the situation at hand. It is then Pierogi's turn. I'm gonna put that on the sheet, 'cause he is now, it's prerogative. It's Prerogative's turn. It's a thing, that's also gonna be the next tavern name. Prerogative.
Yeah, that works.
They're gonna specialize in pierogies and corn chowder.
Don't do that, Sakusha. You'll confuse her even more.
Huh?
He asked, are we sure it's better?
No, no. Bad Zakusha. And Rogith, this thing is swinging at you. And he drops the visage he's been carrying, and you see...
You've got advantage.
Huh?
You've got advantage.
Woo! You have advantage. You see that? Big, giant, orange
boy.
monkey thing.
Oh boy.
Good thing I don't know what those are.
Yeah, me neither. For the record, I'm glad you're closer.
I won't be for long.
And this thing swings its meaty arms at you. And I have advantage. Cool.
Tentacle arms.
They're actually not tentacle arms. They're
Oh, really?
beefy arms. Yeah, here.
Oh, it's not the orangutans.
Oh, okay.
It's not the orangutans.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You beefy boy.
I know what it is, but I don't know what it is.
And oh gosh, I'm sorry. This is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Is that one of the things that was etched into the bas reliefs down in the dungeon?
We'll discuss that. We'll discuss that later.
That's a 26 to hit. Rogith. Oof. And that does 13 bludgeoning damage.
26 hit.
Okay.
It swings at you again, and it seems to howl in rage as it brings its other arm down towards you. And a 17 does not hit you.
That is correct.
After the second swing misses you, It lunges its head forward to bite at you. And a 17 doesn't hit you either. There is, Krabby, thank you, but at the same time, I'm trying to be nice to my players. I want to challenge them and not kill them outright, although I might use that on Eric later. We'll see. Kidding. Love you. Speaking of Eric, it is your turn, and then William, you will be following that up, and then we'll go to break after this round of initiative.
I'm going to step into the room.
Okay.
While still holding onto my teacup.
Of course. Do you want a teacup to hold?
No.
Okay.
As much as I like props, not this time.
I got my.
I'm going to walk into the room, and I'm going to see that beast on the other side of the room. With my previous profession,
Yes.
would I have an inkling of what I'm looking at?
I thought we did undead for you.
We did, but fighting all those different things and being where I was.
You don't, but the mouth and facial structure of the lower jaw gives you no doubt that this thing is demonic in nature.
Okay. And as I step through the door, scanning, how far away is Benjamin Cuthbert from me?
Benjamin Cuthbert is my handy dandy map. He moved after he got smucked by the door. He's over here against this wall near the window.
Oh, perfect.
Just watching. Rogoth is actually up in this thing's face. Lufer has backed up to Parisa.
That's fine. I'm going to go over to Benjamin.
Okay.
How you doing?
You're gonna start a conversation in the middle of combat. I'm consternated and lend me a weapon, lad.
Oh, I'll lend you a hand. And I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder.
Okay.
And I'm going to look at the doorway that I just came out of.
Okay.
And as far down the hallway as I can see. You see that down there in the hallway? It's very interesting. We should probably go look at that. Ring of Shadow Step.
Can you bring him with you?
I don't know. You didn't tell me I couldn't.
I thought it only affected you. Let me see what I gave you. Because I believe it's just, let me look it up and double check.
Otherwise, I'll change slightly how I'm doing this.
That'd be really cool if it works like that.
I sure as hell hope so, because I want to pull a Nightcrawler so bad right now.
Me too. Save my dad.
I know. Otherwise, I'm going to do it slightly different.
Let me see. Okay. Did I give you charges for it?
Yep.
Okay. You can bring up to one person with you, but it costs a charge. An extra charge. So
Okay.
you charge to use it and then it'll take a second. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. So instead of having 4 charges, I have 2.
Because it says no, you can't, but you want a Nightcrawler and you've been nice today, so you can do it.
Well, if I can't, then I have a different way of approaching this.
No, I'm telling you, good, you can.
Okay.
Take what you can get, in the words of our bard.
Bamf.
Bamf?
Bamf.
You bamf. And you are now 20-ish, 15, 20-ish feet down the hallway that way.
Perfect.
Because that's as far as you could see.
You should go get your son.
Seems a bit disoriented. My son.
And then I'm going to double move back towards the room.
Will, he's halfway to
He's
Hilo.
with your wife. And I'm going to run and use my second movement, or my bonus action to get into the room.
Because rogue.
Because rogue.
Yeah. Okay.
Which should leave me my action left for this turn.
Okay. Wait, because the ring was...
I don't know if you have the ring serving as an action, bonus action, or anything. There's no notification on here.
No, we just did the charges for it. We didn't make it use an action or bonus action. I don't believe. because you used multiple charges too.
We
We
just
just
got
got raided!
By 3 people.
That's awesome.
Thank you for the raid, Dungeon Master Painter.
Thank you for the raid! Oh my gosh.
And the follow.
And the follow.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome sauce. We're gonna go to break just a couple seconds late here because some things are happening.
We should probably follow up with this. We'll go to break a little late.
Yeah. Awesome. Dungeon Master Painter, thank you so much. If you want to throw out an attribute when we get raided, we have raid goblins that attack the party. If you want to give one of them a special weapon, we've had a ball of yarn, we've had a spoon, we've had a frying pan,
A spatula.
Spatula.
And we had one of them that had a very bad boil that made him limp when he walked.
Yeah, so if you want to choose a interesting weapon or trait for one of these goblins, go ahead and type it in chat and we will throw it in there for you. Eric, as you turn to
He's got a
paintbrush,
paintbrush.
yes! I love
The
it!
magic paintbrush.
Yes.
As you go to dash back into this room, these shadows flit up from the carpet, and kind of like the little Heartless from Kingdom Hearts, these little shadow goblins pop up, and one of them is wielding a paintbrush and aims it at you, but it seems to be full of ink or something, and it just kind of like flops around. And it aggressively points its drippy paintbrush at you.
I agree, Dungeon. I agree. So with that, as that happens, and I'm running back towards the room, being
Yes.
interrupted by these shadow goblins, I will draw my
Fireball!
I will draw my rapier and wait for the results of the fireball. This is our stream.
Damn, I'm glad I'm in the other room.
Oh my god, it goes off!
The Cuthbert estate just got hit by a fireball.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Who shot off the fireball?
Quiz.
You're wrecking my family home, Twisted Drake. That's
Oh
not
my
very
gosh.
nice.
Okay, hold on. Let me roll damage and figure out.
Well, who's going to get hit by it? Where is it going to hit, and how many
Yep.
of us have to roll?
Yeah, sorry.
I'll get there.
Who's gonna pay to replace the tapestries and stuff, man?
Well, to be fair, some interior decorating was probably needed.
It's old family heirloom type stuff.
Okay, hold on. You're
Some of it's
there.
missing, though.
So that's.
My pockets are heavier.
Yeah, I bet. Silverware and stuff.
You guys are there.
The
Hold
silver
on, I
silver.
gotta map this
Yeah.
out.
Not the nickel-plated silverware. And there's a note at one.
We use exclusively 100% silver fat rabbit cutlery.
Parisa, the goblins, and Eric need to make a dex save.
Okay. I'm alright. I take half damage.
I'm okay.
What did? Okay.
What's the
So you guys will
50.
take
Oh,
half.
just
That's
discuss
just
it.
straight up.
Okay.
level
I
3
am
fireball.
gonna roll for the the goblins do not make it.
I'm telling the teacher we have homework, but I have a question.
Yes.
Loxlies be vulnerable to fire damage? I don't think that's been addressed before.
No, that's awesome.
So,
Go for it.
okay. What's
Parisa
happening?
will chat with that super quick.
What's happening? We are playing a homebrewed game created by my lovely wife, DMLoxy,
Heyo.
called Nerevis. We are in the middle of trying to figure out why there is some fiendish demon thing in his father's study. You showed up, which caused a goblin raid to happen in the middle of the combat that was already going on. And then one of our other viewers redeemed another thing, which is called a fireball, which randomly, there's a 1 in 20 chance that a fireball drops in the middle of everything going on. And it was successful in going off this time, so some of us are being hit by a fireball.
Yeah, feel free to DM us with any questions. 23 damage was the full fireball, so Parisa, I'm going to say half for now, but we'll discuss it. So you're going to take 11. Eric, you're going to take 11. And just as these shadow goblins appear, this burst of fire goes off, and 2 of them flop down dead, and the third one is standing there looking at his now singed paintbrush with his singed little goblin ears, and you see this little tear form in his eye as he sees his paintbrush singed.
What's up, PB And he's then going to meet the business end of my rapier as I poke at him.
1 in 20 unless Loxy's DMing. It was a 20. Like, I didn't even have to fib on that one. It just happened.
Nice.
What'd you roll to hit?
Is this a legitimate goblin? Is this an undead goblin?
He's a legit goblin.
Alright, then I rolled a grand total of a 22 to hit.
He's toast. You stick him with the pointy end. Winter has come for him. He's just gone.
Well, hold on. I just want to see how this works. Ooh, that's a horrible sneak attack.
That is pretty crappy, but
5, 9, 3 is 12 damage to him.
There is now a third goblin corpse and a singed paintbrush laying majestically on top of the goblin. So you now have a teacup and a paintbrush.
are you klepto or something? You just like
No,
grab crap or...
I'm the introduction of Tender.
His bird is.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh, you
Oh,
guys.
God.
Derail!
I'll put the paintbrush in the teacup and make my way back into the room.
Ooh, really, Twiz? Nice. I will chat with you about that later then. Yeah, I licked the files and now they're mine. William, it is now your turn. You are checking on your mother. She seems okay, except her breathing seems to be faster than normal. And you hear this explosion and this burst of light coming from the hallway, sound with some weird sounds coming and combat noises.
Just real quick, in the course of checking, I probably would have checked her pulse. Is that elevated as well?
It is.
Okay.
And her skin is warmer than usual. She doesn't look flushed, but she feels fevered.
Okay. And then I hear this chaos going on down the hall.
That is the word for it, yes.
Okay. I will... Let's see, Aveline is still in here, correct?
Yes, she seems alarmed and actually kind of jumps up on the bed. Aveline is only 10.
Oh, God.
She's considerably younger. She was surprised.
I will... You know what? I will hand her my shield and my mace.
She can barely hold your shield.
I kind of figured, but
Behind it.
so and that's essentially what I want her to do. I'll just Aveline, protect yourself and mother.
Okay.
I'll
And I mean, like, the head of the mace is on the ground and the shield is kind of leaning over her, but if anything came through the door, you know it's not going to hit her.
Yeah. All right. So that's kind of what I wanted to accomplish, and then at this point, I probably spent my action, so I'm going to take and move out into the hallway and peer down towards and move as far down as I can.
Okay,
Or as is
what's your
practical.
movement?
30. I'm in medium armor,
30.
so it's...
Yeah, you get out of the room and 15 feet down the hallway.
Okay, perfect.
And you see scorch marks. You see one of the tapestries is still smoldering a bit. The hallway runner in the carpet the carpet runner in the hallway, wow, is sick.
That too?
And you see your father standing there with what looks like a very broken, bloodied nose, looking confused as there's goblin corpses in Eric's backside, as you see Eric running down the hallway with a teacup and paintbrush.
No, the paintbrush is in the teacup now.
Why is the paintbrush
Because
in
the
the
teacup's
teacup?
empty.
Why is the rum gone? And on that note, we're gonna go to break. Feel free to message us with any questions. If you are new, we will be back in somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes. We're gonna grab some more coffee. The weirdos around here that don't drink coffee, don't know how we manage, but they live somehow.
That's not product placement, by the way. I should own stock by now.
Sounds good, Twiz. Give her a hug for me. And we will see you guys back in a little bit, and we'll find out what is going on with the large orange monkey, a paintbrush, and God only knows what else with this group. Okay, bye! Nothing happened.
By hitting 2?
Yeah.
You're on the wrong screen. Hit the with the mouse, hit the black circle.
Oh no, there we go.
Yeah, you're watching Twitch. If you hit the black circle, it'll put you in OBS. So you can see what's going on.
Black circle. Black circle. Please hold. Oh, hey, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, hold on. Welcome back. DM is loading. Bear with me one moment here.
Whose computer's freaking out?
Gabrielle just plugged the phone in.
Oh, okay.
I keep forgetting that comes across.
Okay, there we go. We should be good. Welcome back to Dragons in the Dining Room. DMLoxy presiding. Huh? Who's a bear?
Bear with me?
Oh.
They got you with a pun.
Love you too, Krabby. And we are mid-combat. This is going to kick us back to the beginning of combat. And Parisa, you are up, followed by Rogith on deck. Parisa, go for it.
Are we rolling each round?
Oh, yes we are. Thank you. I forgot we've been doing that this campaign because it's been like a month since we played and I'm old and tired and I've been awake for way too many hours today. Help!
Not that I want to give up my really good initiative, but, you know.
Please hold.
9 and a 1.
Ouch. Wait a minute, I beat you with initiative?
Yeah, no. With the 9, I got a 16.
Oh, yep. Beat you by 1.
You beat me by 1.
We have another nat 20.
That gives us 3 in total.
Dang.
Okay.
I would suggest if you don't want the DM to kill us, we might have to use one.
I've been nice so far. Parisa, what'd you get?
21.
Brat.
I could use it on that.
That puts you second. Eric, what'd you get?
I got 16.
And Rogith.
9.
Likes horses.
Oof.
And who did I miss? William.
15.
That's not bad. Alright, so lineup is actually starting with Benjamin Cuthbert, followed by Parisa. And your father is standing there with the broken, bloody nose and looks up at you. He's about 5 feet away from you at this point. It's 15, this 30. It's about 20 feet away from you. And looks up. Give me a sword, lad. And you can tell like he's squinting and teared up from all the...
If I can, real quick, I'll just say, Aveline is with Mother.
Right. And he goes towards the bedroom. He'll double move. Roll me insight.
Ooh. Alright. 21.
As he goes past you to go into the bedroom, you realize that that's not how your father walks. His gait is wrong, his postures, his body language doesn't match. The voice matches, the face matches, but his body language seems off. But you can't put your finger on what it is.
You never told me what the infernal was that the creature said when...
It spoke under its breath?
Yeah.
Humans are more trouble than they're worth.
Okay.
Or these humans are more trouble than they're worth.
Okay.
Yes, Krabby. Body language.
You gotta add in the ha.
But if I can't use my voice...
So something just strikes me very...
Yeah,
wrong.
your brain goes, did he hurt his ankle? And then you see that it's not like an injured, it's just his gait and body posture doesn't... Something about it just doesn't sit right with you.
Okay.
Something ain't right.
Good, you're gonna have to knock your dad out.
And then it's Parisa.
I'm going to move in and jab the gross thing with my shillelagh quarterstave.
You're gonna spank the monkey with your shillelagh. Got it. Roll to hit.
Nope.
What? What is wrong with your face?
She actually said
Nothing.
it.
Huh?
She's gonna spank the monkey with her word.
I'm really confused.
I'm fine spanking monkeys with stabs and...
Well, that's what's happening. Sorry, what'd you roll to hit, babe?
I'm going to use the nat 20,
Of course you are. Okay.
which is...
That's right. He doesn't have the Cuthbert swagger.
8 plus...
Just a shillelagh.
11 plus... Oh my gosh, brain plus 4.
Equals
15
turnip.
points of magical bludgeoning damage.
Okay, I'm sorry, how much?
15.
15. Perfect.
Thunk.
You strike this thing solid, and it kind of yelps back, and in your brain you hear, I will enjoy your death slowly. In common. In your head.
In
In your head.
Yes. Zombie. Okay, anything else, Barisa? Or are you going to have Lufer do anything? Got that Cuthbert swagger. Sorry. It's been a day, don't judge me.
All the judging, all the time.
That's okay. You can judge me later when we go to cuddle and you realize I haven't shaved my legs in 2 weeks. Spoiler alert. Does that work?
Huh?
If you rubbed like dryer sheets on your legs, would it keep you from getting that like static clean?
None of this is my fault, so
somebody should know the answer to this. Has anyone tried this? Okay, sorry, moving on. Anything else for yourself?
I am going to...
Shoot.
Just broke her. She's
No,
broke.
Jumblebee, I'm the one who had wine earlier.
Hey,
So I'm gonna go make myself a latte.
Are you doing anything else?
hey, Barton and Nora. Animated armors.
Whew. I'm okay. I've just been up for way too long. So Priest Parisa's good, or are you going to have Lufer do anything?
I'm gonna have Lufer attack.
Arrgh! Lufer attacks.
Okay.
Roll to hit for Lufer Puppy.
I rolled a 13 and I have no idea what his mods are.
Oh, that's right, because I've been rolling the Lufer. That hits. Roll me... You know what? I'm just going to do this. Hold on. High or low, Sam?
Hi.
Okay. Lufer bites him very solidly. And we are going to make a character sheet for Lufer for you to have. Because I had a animal companion character sheet, but I think we used it on Nerevis before I made a copy.
I can print you some more.
Please, thank you. Okay. Yeah, and Lufer gets like a firm grasp on this thing's ankle. And the teeth sink in.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been kind of keeping an eye on that. It's kind of neat.
Right, Doomblebee? No, it's just I'm literally sleep deprived and something hit me sideways because I'm trying to decide if dryer sheets are worth it or not. That leads us to Eric with William on deck, followed by Pierogi.
Alright, so as I enter the room, I see the two of them have this thing pretty well backed into a corner.
Rogith and Parisa are both in front of it. And Lufer has come in from the side and is latched on this thing's ankle.
Well, then I'm going to use one more charge of my ring to bamf myself behind it.
You are now bamfed behind it.
And I will do what I do best.
Sneak attack?
Sneak attack. With a nat 20.
Sneak.
Okay.
And that will be... That will be... 32 points of damage.
Oh,
Nice.
Wow. And you guys watch Parisa and Rogith as Eric just appears behind this thing and drags his dagger and rapier?
Just my rapier.
His rapier into this creature, and it bellows. And you hear in Inferbissel, "I've had enough."
And in Inferbissel, not yet. You're not dead.
Ooh. Alrighty.
Yeah.
I think I'll come back Tuesday. I feel happy. I think I'll go for a walk. Anything else out of you, Eric?
Negative.
William, you're up, followed by the pierogi.
Okay.
These creatures will now forever be called pierogis, by the way.
It is canon.
Okay, so
It is known.
something is off about Dad. I'm going to...
Your nice, strict military home has now been uprooted. Your sisters are talking back to you and berating you.
Yeah,
Your
what the
mother
heck's
is
with that?
ill. It's out of character for them. Maybe not so much for Genevieve. You guys have gone your rounds with her being the oldest sister. But for Aveline to open her mouth and Genevieve come out, caught you a little sideways.
The big body swap.
So I'm gonna take.
Freaky Friday, what?
I'm gonna take and as I'm watching what looks like my father walk away, very uncharacteristically, I'm going to holding onto my holy symbol in my left hand. I'm going to utter a prayer to Hylor and cast Zone of Truth. centered basically on the door frame to the master bedroom. So it's a 60-foot.
Yeah, it's big.
Yeah, it's a 15-foot radius.
Yep.
But it'll cover, and it's a 60-foot range. So, and then I'm just going to. So that's my action to do that, and then I'm going to say. So he's going to need to make a charisma saving throw. With a DC of 14, and I'm just going to say to him, "Are you truly my father, or are you controlled?"
DC 14 charisma save.
Yes.
He misses it by 1. So he has.
So
does he have to answer? Is he compelled to answer, or is he just compelled to be truthful if he speaks?
Well, unfailed save creature can't speak a deliberate lie while in the radius, so he's not compelled to speak. An affected creature is aware of the spell and can thus avoid answering questions, to which it would normally respond with a lie. They can be evasive in its answers as long as it remains within the boundaries of the truth. So he just can't specifically lie. He can try and avoid it.
Gotcha. He stops in his tracks and turns and looks at you. I am not controlled. No one is controlling me. If you want to have a little conversation as your bonus action, I'm totally good with that.
Well, are you my father?
Who else would I be?
Last time, are you my father?
Did you get struck in the head, lad?
I'm immediately going to move so that I am interposing myself in between him and my sister and mother.
What's your movement?
30.
30?
And I had gotten 15 feet out, so...
Yep. Yeah, you are able to make it to him. And the confused expression on his face is your father's.
So if I would... let's see. I would be moving to a point where, I'm trying to get in between them. So if he would want to make an attack of opportunity, he would.
Okay, because you're gonna try and slip.
Yeah, I'm moving around him. So if he wants to swing at me, he certainly could.
He does not. He just puts his hands up and, what the devil is wrong with you, lad? Your mother's ill. Have you no respect?
And that was action, bonus action, movement.
From where you are, no, because they're at the other end of the hallway, in the doorway to the bedroom, and you guys are down the hallway in the office fighting Pierogi Monkey.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so that'd be action, bonus action, and movement. So I am at a standoff with my dad. And my turn would be done.
Perfect. It is the Pierogi's turn. And this thing bellows. What does that do? I don't remember. And it kind of takes a second to look around itself and at the people that are attacking it and the hound that is on his heel. And I need Rogith, Parisa, and Lufer to make a strength save.
Oh boy.
DC 16.
Oops.
I'm taking that as it was less than 16.
What'd you get, Parisa? 16.
Yes, strength
Well,
save.
I got a total of a 3.
Oh, honey.
And I rolled a 6 for Looper.
Ooh, yeah, you and Lufer are both entangled. Rogath, what was your save?
16.
Ty goes to Defender, so you are not entangled. But this area is difficult terrain as he raises one arm. Or Eric, you have to make one too. Duh. Sorry. I almost forgot about you, you little bamf kitty.
I am entangled.
Ouch.
Bad. Ooh, yes, you, Parisa, and Lufer
No, better than a 3, but not better than a 16.
are all wrapped in vines and plants. You can use your action to make a strength check to free yourself.
That was a strength save, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
16.
But for those that were entangled, on their turn, they have to use an action to try and free themselves.
Or an action do something else.
Correct. But you are restrained by vines.
You know, that's a good question.
What? Quick, plant ladies. What?
That just gave me a thought. I'll ask it later, though.
No, you can't seduce the plants.
That's not what I was thinking.
Wait, could Parisa?
Oh gods, I don't know!
I have an idea.
Okay, we'll get there. And then this thing looks down at Rogath, bellows at you, and brings both of his arms down towards you. That's a 24 to hit on one, and a very miss on the other.
One hits.
One of them hits and does... Ooh, 13 more damage.
Okay then. Let's see here. Okay. Alright.
This thing is bleeding profusely from the stab wound from Eric's rapier, and you get the sense that it is injured, it's breathing a little bit heavier, and there's this red tinge around its eyes that you can tell it's enraged with you guys.
Okay.
And that leads us to Rogath.
Okay, we still have one last 20 up too, right?
Do we?
Yep.
Damn it! I forgot about it because Eric used it. My brain went, man, I thought Grace used one.
There were 3.
We had 3.
Son of a whisker biscuit.
Do it, do it, do it, do it.
What's your last mistake, HD? And
It makes me happy when you talk.
I'm going to cast Thunder Smite as a bonus action.
Yeah.
Okay. I was about to pull an Ori.
All the things.
And I'm going to attack said beastie with a nat 20.
Roll damage.
Okay.
Freaking paladins.
Oh, hold on. Can I give you an idea?
Yes, I did.
How about you add Divine Smite to that too?
You're not
Yeah,
there.
That's actually, did I not say that?
No, you
No, you
didn't.
didn't.
Oh, sorry, I'm doing that as well.
Okay, fine.
And it's fiendish, so you should get an extra 1d8 or 2d8.
Where's that dice bag?
1d8, so it'd be.
Move.
Oh,
Here, I'll make sure you're safe.
hey, give me one sec here. I think I had.
Wait, hold on.
this wrong here.
Now you can.
Quit dragging the game on. It was good.
Okay, so I need one more d8 here. So I should have 4d8 altogether, right?
My dragon went away.
Plus 2d6 from Thunderous.
Right.
Yes, it was.
Honey, can you witness my roll on this one? more than 40.
It's dead.
Well, yeah, because his D8s alone would be 36.
Yeah, I was being cute.
Yeah.
A lot of that's radiant damage, and if it's a fiend.
You thrust out your holy symbol, and you feel for the briefest moment the full wrath of your goddess come through you in a way that you can't fully explain. It's a righteous anger, but it feels personal. As you watch as this light flows into this monster's chest and it explodes.
Cleaning bill.
Not so much as
Yes.
to the point where it's not.
I'm not paying it.
There's not big chunks. Like
Your
it
fault.
explodes with so much radiant energy that it evaporates into this demon mist and just fizzles off into the ether.
Okay, so it evaporates. It doesn't, like,
Aw, Bumblebee.
like
Love
say
you
like
too.
any of the aliens in like Men in
No,
Black.
like there's no gory mess. Like it is incinerated with the divine light of the goddess of death, with as much sense as that makes.
Okay, I'm not sending you a cleaning bill then, Rogath, so just you're okay on that one then.
I'm going to now look at Parisa and Rogath.
And the flowers, the
Now
vines
he's
that were
had enough
holding
of
you
us.
fade. Sorry, go ahead, but
I'm looking at Rogath and Parisa. And now he's had enough of us.
you guys are no longer entangled. Roll the next round of initiative just so we can kind of clean up here.
Now I roll.
Well, you should have been rolling all along. Eric, what'd you get?
21.
Brat.
I finally rolled a decent number.
William, did you roll a double digit?
I did not. It is a 5.
Holy. Parisa.
At 20 to Williams. 25.
Huh?
She added 20 to yours.
Nice.
Rogath.
Also 5.
Yay, Rogath.
Really?
Two holy people going last.
Save the best for last. Save the best for last. Right, Rogath?
Parisa, you and Lufer are up first. The vines that were holding you have wilted, and you are no longer restrained and entangled by them.
Darn, I have such a good idea too. I'm going to...
More like holy low rollers.
I'm going to quickly exit and look for what happened to William and Benjamin.
If you use your movement to go outside the room and into the hallway, you can see that it looks like William's at the other end of the hallway interposing himself in front of his father. And his stance is not friendly looking. Holy roll rollers, as Teo would say. He's not wrong,
Tell
though.
her that you're saying all of this.
2 words, cucumber dip. Now hug her for me. Alright, yeah, so it looks like William is very aggressively blocking the doorway from his father.
William, is everything okay?
I am not certain. Nothing is as it should be, or perhaps even as it appears. And I'm not taking my eyes off my father while I'm responding, or what looks like my father.
Ooh, saucy.
Yeah, I will try will use my full movement to get as close as possible.
Okay. Are you double moving?
Yeah.
Riding.
No, I do have a 35-foot movement though.
Okay.
We're using as.
You
Oh,
are.
okay, gotcha.
And it's dex based.
So it's a 60-foot haul, but that's not quite at the end of it. So you're like 10 feet away from Benjamin Cuthbert. So it's like you, 10
Is that
feet,
still-
Benjamin Cuthbert, and then William Cuthbert right in front of him.
That's totally fine.
So if class is provisioned in that, does that get provisioned?
Okie
Or
dokie.
is it just not?
Yeah, you'll have to ask her about it.
Anything else out of you, Parisa?
Not as of yet.
Anything you want Lufer to do?
How is Looper reacting?
Lufer followed you out of the room, and Lufer, unless you tell him to stop, he seems to be bolting for the bedroom and his new little human friend.
I'm not going to tell him to stop.
Okay. Lufer, unless you stop him, William, Lufer is going to try and go past you into the room with Aveline.
Nope, that's fine.
It's just puppy.
Yep, and your father does not react to the dog scooting past. He kind of even moves out of the way to let the dog pass.
Okay.
Eric, you are up with Benjamin Cuthbert on deck. And then our low holy rollers.
I am going to investigate the room.
Perfect. Roll me in investigation.
I am going to look for anything that might indicate how and or why this creature was present.
Okay, roll me investigation.
16.
16. There is the large mahogany desk that the creature was standing next to.
Mm-hmm.
There is a book open on the desk that looks to be a copy of the ones that you guys found in those knoll birthing places.
Or the ones that have the list of names.
Yes. And there are a number of drawers. And as you... I'm assuming you're going to open the drawers if you're investigating.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm looking. I'm.
As you open the drawers,
I will leave no Cuthbert unturned.
you are...
You have to count all the silverware now.
You do?
You're perturbed because your investigation was high enough.
I was holding on to this for you.
It feels like the drawer, when you pull it out, should be bigger than it is. Like, you pull out the drawer and it feels like the drawer space is considerably smaller.
Is it smaller this way or is it smaller this way?
Smaller this way.
Okay. Well,
Hollow thumping.
dagger.
Okay. You pry it open and you find...
I'm not trying to destroy it.
Noted. You find
I appreciate it.
3 vials labeled antidote that have a shimmery obsidian.
Considering my affluence with poisons.
You are fairly certain by looking at it that this is in fact antidote.
I will replace the partition, but hold on to one antidote.
Okay.
Keep looking around.
You look in the drawer on the other side, find the same thing, and you find a piece of parchment with a broken wax seal, and the wax seal is the Gates of Marasa with the crossed keys with one key etched. It is written in Inferbissable.
Which I can read.
You can, you brat. Cuthbert
What's
is...
up, Holiday?
Hey, Holiday!
Hey,
Cuthbert is not complying. Keep the family under lock. Beware the oldest girl. If she becomes troublesome, deal with her as you did the mother.
how lovely.
William!
We will reconvene.
Bring your father here.
We will reconvene at the next new moon if anyone is left alive at the fort by then.
William, bring your father here.
You hear from the office. William, bring your father here.
Busy at the moment. Could you come here?
Okay.
So I'm sure there's a concentration, but it's,
I have no reason to say no.
I want to keep my dad in that area
I get
while
you.
it's in effect.
I get
So.
you. I will make my way out of the room toward.
Okay. Your 30-foot movement?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you consider this the investigation, my action, I can use my bonus to move as well.
Okay, if you double move, how close are you getting?
I'd probably be 20 feet away from him by that point in time.
If you double moved, you could get to him.
Oh, then I'm going to stand shoulder to shoulder to his father.
Okay.
Here. And I'm going to hand you the parchment.
You watch your father's face pale immediately as Eric hands you this parchment. And it is written in a language that you don't understand.
Now, ask your father. Screw it. Can you read that? Looking at his father.
What is this?
No. Can you read that? I'll pull it back from you. Can you read this to your son?
Yes.
Please do.
No. That's not a lie.
It's written in Infernal, and it talks about the family being kept under guard and key, and maybe everybody will be dead by the next full moon. Or was
New
it?
moon.
New moon. Yeah, next new moon. Infernal.
How far
The
away
language
is
of
your
demons.
I'm waiting until my turn.
Alright. It is then Benjamin Cuthbert's turn. Oh, hold
He's
on.
in trouble.
Come here, kitty.
You made a boo-boo.
Come over here. Hey, no, I couldn't out of here.
Woof, woof.
How would I do that?
Really
Whichever way you want.
William, roll me an opposed grapple.
What is happening?
Yes.
He is going to try and push past him to get into the room.
Can I use my reaction to grab, giving him advantage?
Yes, go
Okay.
ahead and roll with advantage.
Can you roll higher? Yes, you can.
I won, yeah. So, all right. So, are we using athletics for that, or
Yeah.
just straight up? Okay. So 23.
Holy crap, that's going to be close because I rolled a 19 on the die. Hold on. Damn it!
Beat him by one.
Hold on. I have to hold.
Wait, do you have advantage? No, I don't have another DM advantage.
No, you don't.
Dang it!
That was good.
And he goes to get past you, and Eric interferes just enough to give you time to get in the way.
Okay.
As this thing is trying to lunge past you, and his eyes are straight on Aveline. Or rather, the shield that Aveline is behind. And Lufer looks like Cujo right now. And has taken up a defensive stance in front of the shield and does not look like a fluffer pupper doggo right now.
That's one of the tools that doesn't exist in 5th that they really need.
I know, I'm sorry, I was mad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say we are out of initiative just because you have a firm hold on your father. Eric, you were right there. Parisa, you're 10 feet away. Rogith, you, wait a minute. Yeah, William and Rogith, you are up. You guys are tied, so whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead.
Right.
I'm gonna take his knee out. You know where he kicked the back of the
I
head in the knee.
think
get the full sense that this thing was lunging towards your mother and younger sister. And the pupper doggo is not happy with it.
Let's see here. Well...
right? Not pupper.
I will... So am I grappled with him? I've got a
You
hold on
have
him?
a firm hold on him.
Okay, then let's see here. I'm gonna take and
Jerry.
Survey says you are not the father.
Well, I've got a hold of him.
Yep.
I'm just gonna slam right to the ground, throw my full weight, and just try and slam him
Do I have time enough to scoot out of the way?
right to the ground. Well, off to the side, just wham, because he's trying to get by me.
Not my toes. Not my toes.
As you slam him into the ground, he loses the guise of your father and turns into that thing. Yes, it is in fact a doppelganger. Doppelganger. It's a shape-shifty, changey thingy.
And,
I remember the last
so you want me to roll something for slamming him to the ground, or?
I'm just, you had him firmly grappled.
Then
Go
I'm
ahead
going to
and-
use my War Priest so I can make an additional attack as a bonus action here.
Yep.
I'm going to just sock in the snot box.
Do it.
Is there advantage because I've got him on the ground?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Did you just crit?
No.
No, I rolled exactly the same thing on both dice, but that is a 13.
You were so angry that instead of catching him in the snot box, your fist grazes the side
Wait a
of his
minute.
face.
No, Channel Divinity's an action, isn't it?
Channel Divinity?
You're
Yes.
Yeah, it is an action.
Yes, it is.
Darn it. Okay, never mind.
And it's just... Wait, I'll tell you what you want, just don't hurt me.
At that point, then I'm gonna raise my smaller shield and bang my hammer on it and slowly and menacingly advance.
Because Rogith, you were still in the office, weren't you?
Yep.
Okay, so are you gonna double move to get into the bedroom then?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect. You menacingly advance the full way to the doorroom or the bedway.
That too.
Wow,
He's doing
the
great.
doorway of the bedroom. Tonight's getting bad, you guys. It's been a while. What kind of EV, Sylveon? I like Espeon or Umbreon personally. Just throwing that out there.
Just EV's crowding. We can evolve from ourselves. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Just lost my train of thought again. You are in the doorway next to Eric, Robith.
Okay.
Oh, God.
You better stop talking, beastie.
It looks very intimidated. I am going to say you guys are out of initiative order. You have this thing under control. And Aveline faints. She's peeking out from behind the shield, and when she sees you slam what appears to be her father down, and then it changed, she just kind of and crumples, and Lufer jumps in the way of the shield and kind of shoulders it out of the way so it doesn't flop on her, because that would be like insta-death.
I don't want to interrupt what he's doing, but I'm very curious about this creature.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to sit down cross-legged on the floor, pull out my dagger, and start cleaning my nails while I'm looking at it.
What do you do with your teacup and paintbrush?
It's sitting down next to its ears.
I can hear.
Oh, don't stop on my account.
You are an odd creature.
So is it.
I think that's why I married you. But guys?
So if we're out of initiative,
Yeah, you're out of initiative order. Act freely. Just if someone wants to do something, speak up, and then we'll jump around.
Anybody mind if I take the helm here for the moment?
Don't mind me.
All right. So holding this thing down, just gonna have my hand raised up And I'm gonna say, what did you do with my father?
I didn't do anything with him.
Where is he?
I was just supposed to impersonate him.
Where is he?
The dungeons in Calyx, I think. That's where they were taking him.
I didn't realize it was left in the washer.
They?
The other monkeys.
Oh, there's more than things.
The Bulguras.
Let's see here.
We needed him to accept a bribe, and he would not.
Is the zone of truth still going?
Yes, that lasts for 10 minutes, and it does not require concentration. So.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. So you know he's being honest.
Oh, I suppose. Once we enter it, we have to roll for that too, don't we?
Yeah, actually.
Oh, shoot.
You've made your charisma
She
save.
realized that it was an imposter, so she's been poisoned.
Poisoned in what manner?
I have the antidote.
I do not know. The Bulgura had the antidote.
No, I have the antidote. I'm not a Bulgura. I'm Eric. And I'm going to go and give her the antidote.
No, hang on.
What?
Is that the antidote for it, or just an antidote? There are specific antidotes for different poisons.
Would I know?
You are quite certain with your knowledge of poisons that this is the correct antidote.
This will work.
Otherwise, I would assist as well.
Okay.
Perfect. Between you
my
and
answer is
Teresa,
this'll
you
work.
are 100% confident that this is the correct antidote.
And I will cause her to imbibe it.
Okay. It takes a few moments, and she sputters awake, coughing, and seems to be very, very weak.
Don't move.
Who are
My
you?
name's Eric. Don't worry about it. You rest.
Where is
Just-
my husband?
We're taking care of that. Just rest.
She looks concerned.
I'm going
and
to grab her daughter off the floor, lay her daughter down next to her. She needs your attention.
Evelyn,
Just rest.
and Lufer jumps on the bed and kind of lays in between the two of them and is like trying to desperately decide who to lick.
I've got your son. We're taking care of the father. You rest. It's all good. My name's Eric. I'm helping. And I'm going to turn around.
She looks completely overwhelmed and exhausted. And about this time, Genevieve appears in the doorway.
In the doorway, or she walks around the corner and sees her brother pummeling this
She
thing.
walks into the doorway to the room and sees Rogus standing there and sees William over this thing and her mother awake.
Ah, Genevieve, your mother's awake. She's been poisoned. She's weak. Can you take care of her?
She's already over there and...
William, I hope you don't mind that I'm ordering your sisters around.
I'm not even really kind of paying attention.
Without missing a beat, Genevieve looks up and kind of cocks an eyebrow. I don't mind being ordered around. And then goes back to...
This is not my family. The whole damn family's been replaced.
I know, right?
I'm going to have to start beating everybody up.
Yes, there's little X marks on the back of their necks.
Wait, what?
It's an old movie. And they hate copper.
I'd like to grab the doppelganger and get up, pull him up, slam him down into a chair.
William, you're all right. Your mother's voice is just... And you can see Genevieve is kind of explaining things to her.
I'll turn, look towards her briefly, just kind of nod, and then immediately turn back to the the creature in front of me. Turn to the rest of my companions here. Does somebody have some rope?
Ah, yes, I can help you with that.
You're already doing other stuff.
I'm talking.
Well, yeah, we've got other people that can tie.
Okay.
Let me see. I believe I have rope.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Teresa.
Sigazilla!
Thank you, Sigza.
Yes, I will bring William my rope.
Tie this one, please.
I
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a couple of them actually.
Of course there is.
That's much, much, much better. Just screen next. 22.
Yeah, you have this thing, like, beautifully tied, somehow turtle shell and dragonfly met, and Parisa steps back, and it's more a work of art than it is a tie, but it is very well done, so no matter how this creature moves, if he tries to struggle, his airway is cut off. And there's knots on pressure points, and just, Parisa's like, seems quite proud of herself.
Raise an eyebrow and then nod.
She just kind of shrugs, and you watch Genevieve go, I need to learn how to do that.
Crabby.
I think your sister's possessed.
Wow, I got 2 players turning red. This is good.
So.
And for once, Rogan isn't one of them.
Alright, so we've got the doppelganger tied. Mom and sister are somewhat recovering. At this point, okay, since the doppelganger is securely tied up,
Genevieve then goes out of the room and comes back with some tea. Like, she's just doing her own thing, taking care of stuff. Do you think that maybe you could question him somewhere out of Mother's view? And her eyebrow raises, and it's very much that family look.
If somebody wants to help me, just grab the back of the chair, drag this guy out of the room.
We could also just bring him with us as we go hunt for your father in the dungeons.
I think we need more information.
Fair.
You were gonna say something, Rogath?
I'll help him.
All right. Let's drag him into a different room, a little bit down the hall. Or we could drag him down to the office, whatever. But
office or upstairs parlor, either one.
That one of us should at least remain with your kinfolk back in the room.
When you say someone should remain, Lufer goes woof, like I'm here.
Excuse me.
Like he's volunteering.
And
I think they will be well guarded.
this is uncharacteristic for William, but this is his family's threatened. So as soon as you guys get him
that can be
into,
lawful squared.
so as soon as we get him into the other room, out of sight of mom and sisters, William would want to just sock him one in the snot box hard as
Look,
he
Sir
can.
William, an evildoer. Sorry, I had
Just
to.
Wham! Just pummel him as hard as he can.
You do, and his head snaps back and forward. I'm telling you what you want.
I like your form.
It's not my fault if he's dead already, the stubborn bastard.
You might want to watch your tongue, or you might not have it because of him.
Upon hearing dead already, I'm going to grab him by the throat, pushing backwards so that the chair's kind of at a little bit of an angle, not enough that it's going to topple over yet, but
I copy.
and so now we're out of the zone of truth, unfortunately, but I could drop it again. And you know what?
He seems fairly compliant at the moment.
We're going to do it again, though. I'm going to mutter a prayer to High Lord, drop a zone of truth, just centered right on the chair.
He doesn't need his kneecaps to speak.
And
You feel a brief presence.
I'm compelled to tell the truth. Hey,
Settle.
Rogath, if you're in the room with us, you need to make a charisma save.
Okay.
You feel a brief presence as you're uttering this prayer to High Lord. You feel a brief presence settle over you like a mantle, and you realize it's not High Lord, it's Corandor. The god of justice is standing with you on this.
Ooh.
What'd you roll?
16 plus 2, so 18 altogether?
Okay. You're fine.
And it
It was just zone of truth effects.
Ooh.
Gotcha.
It is palpable. Everyone in this room feels this divine presence and this demand for justice. It's almost like the riot effect, but
I'm just gonna say to it.
I mean, play this out, but consider that.
No, well, because I was waiting for that thought.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So as I'm tipping the chair back, holding this thing by the throat, zone of truth, and then you are going to tell us every piece of information about this situation that you can. That is your only hope for surviving this encounter.
I believe him.
And that's the truth. This thing,
If you answer sideways in any way, I will start breaking your digits one by one.
I hate
Really
math.
terrifying.
It nods vigorously as best it can between Paris's knots and your hand around its throat. I was told to replace your father and keep the family in order. Your father was made an offer, the details of which I don't know, but he refused. All I know is it has something to do with a corrupt Loxley. Or not Loxley, sorry. Laundress. Sorry, Prisa.
A corrupt laundress?
Yes. And something about a woman in a white dress. I saw her once, and she spoke with the Bulgaras.
That lady that I saw just before I was teleported, the color of her chemise, what was that?
Oh, it was white.
Okay.
Like pristine snow white. And you feel like this might be a little more than coinky-dink.
Okay.
Correlation's not causation, but dang, that's suspicious. Rogith, upon hearing that, your ears kind of prick up a little bit too. And Eric, you think
Remember
of,
my instance in the cornfield?
Yeah, very much so. And then, briefly through your minds, you're like, oh yeah, the woman in the cornfield. You get a flash of another woman with jet black hair, golden hoops in her ears, colorful scarves, and an infectious smile, looking at you and jumping in the way of something. And then you see a horse, and you see yourself stabbing this horse, and then there's a campfire and wine and dancing, and then everything comes back into focus for you.
Okay.
Corrupt laundress never gets the whites white
It's
enough.
funny.
What the hell?
It's funny.
I don't know any of this, but so let's see here. Okay, what is your name?
I am Ugg.
What is the name of the corrupt laundress?
I don't know.
What is the name of the woman in the white dress?
I don't know.
Does the name Anafel sound familiar?
I have heard this name spoken in hushed tones, always in tandem with the name Alafel.
Has that name ever been used in the presence of this woman in white? Or about the woman in white?
I'm not sure. I do know that it has something to do with the seed of evil.
S-E-E-D or S-E-A-T?
S-E-A-T. Seat. The rump. The Rumpakiss of evil. Sorry, okay. Serious moment. I'm so tired.
Okay, father was imprisoned because he wouldn't.
The others that haven't complied in the past, we've just killed them outright. I've never seen them take a prisoner before.
What makes him different?
I don't know, but if he wasn't to comply, the next on the list to corrupt was the older girl. Something about potential.
Yeah.
Eric, you realize you haven't seen Nerevis in some time.
She's taken off before. You're doing that.
Thank you, Corona.
Okay, so how long have you been?
His father.
Yeah, how long have you been carrying on this facade?
Since he came to the fort at an inopportune time 4 days ago.
Not long enough to cause too much mischief.
The first 48 has taught you nothing. Every crime show we've ever watched has taught you nothing.
Okay, so then I want to, I mean, if anybody else has any questions, pipe up, but...
Fortress supposed to happen?
The new moon.
And how long till the new moon?
4 days. Wait, no, hold that thought. Please hold. Your game is important to us. 5 days.
5 days. New moon, you said?
New moon. Thank you, Vistra.
Thank you, Vistra.
Okay, in 5 days.
For Loofer.
So,
Where is the attack supposed to come from?
I don't know. Just that someone is trying to organize the swamp into a force.
And where did you come from?
The swamp?
Anything more specific?
About 2 miles across the border, outside Calyx.
Oh, sorry, that just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Is this creature that is known in our land?
It is not. You've heard fairy tales of skin changers and shapeshifters, but again, it's the stuff of nightmares. Seeing it is like, whoa. It would be like watching Thaco sit there and all of a sudden we look over and there's 2 William Cuthberts.
And once again, I have a look on my face like, whatever.
Yeah, that's something. Actually, everyone except Eric, roll me insight. Just for shiggles.
dirty 20.
20?
Yep, dirty 20.
And Parisa.
22.
Nice. Rogath.
21.
You all realize
Damn.
that Eric is very flat affect. Anytime you guys have seen something shocking or alarming, it doesn't surprise and disbelief do not register on his face. It's like this is his happy face. And this is his sad face. And this is his surprised face.
I like to phrase it slightly different in the fact that I just don't show shock and disbelief. It's like, okay, time to deal with it. It is what it is. And they're at... especially with the goblins, as you guys aren't familiar with it. With the goblins, there was actually a point of recognition.
And this is his, oh look, there's my bird face.
It's your blue steel?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Mwah, mwah.
Let's see here.
There are not many of my kind left, so we were conscripted and promised lands of our own. This estate would have been mine, as well as any woman in the area that I wanted.
There's a point in time where you should learn to stop talking.
You told me to tell you everything.
Good indeed. So, since William's a military man, he wants to... Okay, so who's your commanding officer? Who was the one that...
took orders from the Balgura.
The one that we just killed?
Yes.
Okay.
Who commands the Bulgara?
The other Balgura, I don't know who they report to. Just that the one time the woman in white was there and they did not attack her. Fireball!
I'm gonna blow up your house again.
Again? Let's see.
Rude.
Twisted, you're being awfully rough on the Cuthbert family heirlooms.
The heirlooms are safe. This time was not a fireball, although you did raise the temperature. Because everyone went, not again! Everyone screamed Armageddon loud enough, fast enough that it halted the fireball. As it is a respectful fireball after all.
Let's see here.
I hear waxing is more effective.
So,
Magic birds!
let's see here.
Oh, I don't know what.
Okay, so the attack
All
on the
the bats.
fortress is supposed to take place on the new moon in 5 days. They're trying to organize the swamp into an attack force.
And a 20.
The woman in the white dress talked to the Balguras, was not attacked, so she's some point of leadership or something, maybe. Or a force to be reckoned with for certain.
Parisa and Rogath, anything from you guys? Any thoughts? Any...
Yuri said that he didn't know anything about the woman in white, correct?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Yuri said that he didn't know anything about the woman in white, correct?
Correct. He... Ooh, tacos.
Ooh.
Right? He said that he's only seen her the one time, and all he knows is the Balguras did not attack her. But other than that, he did not seem to have any information on her.
How did the Bulgaras treat her?
They stayed out of her way.
I'm going to exit the room.
Okay.
And I am going to inquire to the first person who seems to have any type of authority where the dungeons are.
Genevieve, you actually catch her in the hallway. The only dungeons are at Fort Calyx.
Where? How do I get there?
She gives you directions to the fort. It's about 3 hours ride from the Cuthbert estate, and the dungeons are down below. She's never been down there herself, but she knows the dungeons are beneath the fort itself.
Then I will make my way outside.
Why does it say roll for players is out of stock? Because there's only 4 of them available per session, and all 4 of them were blown like instantly in this session. And ooh, dungeon.
I'm going to make my way outside to my horse.
Not gonna say anything to your party?
I'm assuming there's a little bit of a gap in time here.
Okay. Rogath, Parisa, anything from you? at one point, Genevieve does come in and asks you if there's anything you need. She is, after all, the acting lady of the house with her mother down ill and almost seems a bit sheepish at her lack of oversight, even amidst everything, to offer hospitality to a foreign national.
I will politely decline.
Politely?
I'm tired too, okay?
It's okay. We're wrapping up here pretty quick.
Actually, I do have one more question.
Yeah, fire away.
Are there any more of you buggers around here that are hiding amongst our kinfolk?
You me, I'm a paladin. I ask smart questions. Me. There are 2 others of my kind. I do not know where they are conscripted, though. Only that they have been set to overthrow targets of power.
Which targets of power?
That I do not know. I know there is a long list. Something about the Loxley ambassadress, the prince, and the laundresses that would not comply, the priest at the shrine of Hylor, all the heads of state scattered across the known world.
Lisa is extremely interested now.
I'm going to pull out the book of names and open it up to him and basically show him all these names. Are these the names that you're talking about?
That is only a quarter of the list. I do not know the specific names, only that that list is an old one. I do not know where the new ones are being kept.
Do you know where we might go to find that list?
The Bulgur, I imagine.
And where are they stationed?
Everywhere. The overthrowing of Calyx is the first objective. I know that is what they're planning.
Where do they hail from?
The swamp and the forest north of the elves. At this, everybody who is native to this world should freak out because elves aren't real.
Wait, what do you mean elves?
The elves, ancestors to your people, pointy ears.
There's no such thing. They died out years ago. Generations ago.
I have seen elves, they are real. Zone of Truth is still active.
Oh, who has the elf ear?
Who does have the elf ear?
Not me.
Was that Moreland?
I believe so.
Yes.
I think that was Mormon, yeah.
But with you all speculating about elves and Eric mounting his horse, we are going to wrap up for the evening as we are out of time. We will be back tomorrow for a little bit of S&M, also known as Sand and Magic, among many other things. We will be streaming at 4. Happy Easter to everyone. If we don't see you before then, stay safe. Obviously visiting family is hard, but go ahead, call them, message them, send goofy pictures, tell them you love them. Thank you to Syrinscape for the audio. Any other announcements, guys?
Not that I can think of.
All right.
Thank you to everybody who's been with us throughout this whole entire thing. Thank you guys. We really appreciate
Thank you
it.
for putting up
Yeah, absolutely.
trying to figure all this out.
There is one more. And thank you, Double Dang Games, for being here.
Woo!
Thank you for having me.
Yay!
Thank you for having me. I'm glad I was able to make it.
No worries, Doomblebee. We'll see you next time. All right. Bye, everyone. Take care. Be safe.
Au revoir.
Have fun.
Love you guys.
1 and then none.